you know, Dragon Con kind of marks the end of summer, right? It's like when you leave and go to the con, the con reminds you that it's summer the whole time, and then you come back home and you see autumn setting in. So you know, and then as Ned Stark always said, winter is coming. So 2024 has only a couple of months left. Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to? Movies, video games, TV shows, like through the rest of the year?
I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to 2025.
Well, we did find out that Creature Commandos is coming on December 5th, and that is going to be the official first entry into James Gunn's DC universe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There's actually been quite a bit of animated stuff that we've gotten this year.
Yeah.
We got the second half of Invincible season 2 earlier this year.
Tremendous.
We've gotten the Cape Crusader. We've gotten Suicide Squad Isekai.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah.
That's coming. We promise.
We promise.
Like the Dragons. It might take 6 seasons, but it's coming.
And I feel like there's been like a handful of other new animated shit that came out this year.
I think you forgot a major one. Probably
I feel like I did.
the majorest one. X-Men 97.
Oh, yeah. X-Men.
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah.
There's that thing. Yeah. I mean, I already knew, like, I'm wearing a shirt, X-Men shirt, so I figured that it was obvious that that was mentioned.
Is that what it was? Got it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I use you guys as my source of, this is new coming out. So.
Yeah, you do that with everything.
That's a fair point. I really do that.
You said doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
We were talking a little bit about the big Baldur's Gate patch. That will be relevant.
Yeah, I still need to check it out. I want to see what that fear is like as a companion in the party.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that would be I've been excited about that, hoping that was the case from the get-go because like she's such a lovable character right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
And if you play Dark Urge, you realize that's not a good thing.
The only Dark Urge that we saw at the con, I was really hoping they would have like a Alfira head, kind of like on their belt or something.
Oh, that would be cool. I saw a bunch of good Alfiras at the con.
Oh
yeah. Fun. Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is like way outside of our listener base, but a lot of you listen to both of the Agent Paper episodes. So the Read or Die.
I assume the homies that did listen to the Read or Die reviews, those of you who did, you just like hearing us, and I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, you guys are the best, and Brendan, and so I just. But I got a game coming out on Tuesday that I've been waiting for a long time, which is Satisfactory. It's been in early access for like 6 years.
I was like, you've been playing that game for like the past couple years, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's finally getting 1.0. It's finally like coming out on Tuesday, and they're making all these huge changes to it. So.
Oh shit. Yeah. We have the three of us in this kind of combination have never done a Baldur's Gate playthrough of any kind.
No, we really need to. Like, I wouldn't even be opposed. Like, so I remember before Baldur's Gate came out, Caleb got me into the early access. I bought a whole laptop for that. Like, I don't PC game. I never did. Now that's all I play on because it's more convenient. But I remember Dylan. He got it. And we were like, dude, you have to get a new laptop or a gaming PC of some sort, and we need to play the early access together. And we did one time. And, yeah, it was a fucking blast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think a whole-on campaign would be fucking dope.
Oh, absolutely. Would we do all created characters or all preset characters?
I'd be cool with whatever, man. Like...
One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we need to have the mixture.
Yeah. All created would be great.
I think so too,
because we could murder the companions. But I also think that us all playing as origin characters would be very interesting as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would. Either way, it'd be a lot of fun. Evil or good guys,
or just straight chaos. That's what.
That always equates to bad.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
like, because I think we've talked about this a little bit on the show before. Like, we had that family game for a little while, which we still haven't gotten past Act 1. Or either that or we just got into Act 2. But I play up. I straight played up a Chaos Dragonborn fighter. Didn't matter what I just did shit. Yeah. and then him and Don ended up doing this whole thing where they, like, right before we saved, they they would attack me with every spell they have while I'm chasing them around.
Hopefully, you mean right after they saved.
Yeah.
They
would save and then be all out war.
Like right before we log off is what I meant.
Shut down. Yeah.
So, but I think we can totally pull that off.
I'm actually playing I played a bard in that that was modeled after Chrysala. And that character, I wasn't playing them as evil. Like, I staked Astarion, but it was because he bit me, you know?
Well, y'all made me kill my boo thing, and I was very upset about that.
I mean, that's true, but we needed the robe.
No, you didn't need the robe. There's plenty of other dope-ass robes out there.
Don needed the robe.
Don had to have the fucking robe for killing Karlach, and I'm still salty about it.
You hold on to that basically until, damn near Act 3.
Yeah, I mean, into Act 2 for sure, you know?
Yeah.
It's a great robe.
Yeah. Speaking of things that most people say are great, I think it's pretty good. Have you guys gotten around to playing the Insomniac Spider-Man 2 game yet?
I think you know the answer to that question from me.
I do, but for the homies, I have to ask anyway.
Yeah, I haven't played it for two reasons. Number one, it's not out on PC yet, and number two, my PS5 has been in his room for about 6 months.
Yeah, so. I can see that being a deterrent.
Yeah. I probably won't play it until it comes out on PC, to be honest with you. That's what I did with the first one.
If I do play it, it'll be probably about 10 years after it's been released.
Yeah, so it's not even time for you to play the first one yet, is it?
Nope.
Which you haven't, have you?
No.
No, we still haven't gotten him to play Dragon Age Origins.
You never played Dragon Age Origins?
I have played Dragon Age.
Oh, you played?
I just never finished it.
Okay.
You never finished? Wow.
So we also haven't got him on any of the Pathfinder games. He's never played any of those.
Nope.
Still hasn't watched True Detective Season 1. There's just a lot.
There's so much. I get to him in my own time.
The problem is your own time, it exists on the clock that we don't have.
Hey, yeah, that's true.
Hey, you got me to play Baldur's Gate.
I did.
And that is a massive feat.
It is, yeah.
So, and now I'm obsessed with it. And it's in my rotation of games.
Now I got to get him to play the 2.
To play what?
2.
2?
Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh.
I'll probably never play that.
So it's got Thaco in it. So.
No. So another thing about me with that is, like, if I start in a game that is more advanced than the previous good games, I can't go back and play. Yeah. Like, I started in Skyrim in the Elder Scrolls series. I tried to go back and play Oblivion. I couldn't do it. My brain did not process it.
Well, Oblivion is a markedly worse game than Skyrim.
But I'm just saying, it was still a good game that I was interested in playing, but I can't because my brain won't let me.
There's almost two camps on this. It's kind of like the Fallout New Vegas thing. Like, there are people of class and sophistication that understand that Morrowind is the best Elder Scrolls, and then there are people that think that Oblivion is better than Skyrim, and then there are the people that think that Skyrim is the best game. The first or the last camp, I'm okay with.
Like, honestly, I'm definitely in the Skyrim is the best game.
Well, that's because Skyrim is the best game. It's not a camp, it's just a fact.
But that's a fair point. It is. I mean, it's fucking dope. I still need to get it on my PC so I can actually play it.
Yeah.
So I can stop buying it every time I get a new update.
You can get it on PC for, like, dirt cheap.
I'm sure I can.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have a copy that I could just send you the code for.
That's fair.
I have so many unredeemed games in my Humble Bundle.
Yeah, I've definitely already bought like in my Steam account. I've already bought all the cycle games that I play. Mass Effect,
Right.
Witcher 3, all the Final Fantasies that I've played over the years.
Really quick, most overrated game.
Ever?
Yeah.
Overrated game.
All of the Souls games.
Oh, that's a good one.
Elden Ring. I mean, Elden Ring in general, but because you said most overrated, right? And
Yeah.
Elden Ring was like it won Game of the Year.
In the same year that God of War Ragnarok came out.
Yeah,
That's
and
unforgivable.
yeah, I mean, it was. It's a disgrace on gaming that we give that kind of credence to FromSoft games, which are the same shit over and I mean, granted, Elden Ring is like the best version of that, but it's just 3D Flappy Bird with a sword, and I can't unsee that. I mean, and I'm glad that other people can, I guess, but the gameplay of it, I think what it does. I think that those games, I think that they encourage a level of elitism, right? Where you can say, well, this game makes me feel like I'm good at video games, and that's why Souls fans like them. And then if anybody that doesn't like the game, they can just say, well, then it's because you're not good.
Get good, scrub.
Yeah. It's like people who say that, people who don't like Rick and Morty, like they just don't understand it,
Right.
Except for like these people are wrong. Yeah.
So my toss in the hat is Kingdom Hearts.
Ooh, that's a good
Oh,
one.
that is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I played the first two. I enjoyed
If
the
Dylan were
second one.
here.
Oh, I know. Dylan probably crucified me, but at the same time, like it's more of like okay.
The first one is just a like it's just a storyline where you occasionally have to press buttons.
Yeah, that's fair. And the second one is the one I played the most. It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The storyline was confusing, but from what I understand, that's the entire arc of this game. Like, the entire legacy of this game is confusing storylines.
Yeah.
Because apparently, if you don't play every single one of them, you have no idea what the fuck's happening in the third one. So...
Yeah, and I think the same can go for the developers. I don't think they had any fucking clue. I actually watched Kevin play a good bit of the third one. And,
I did not realize Kevin played Kingdom Hearts.
Well, he really enjoyed 1 and 2, like a lot of people.
Okay, well, yeah.
I mean, so did I. But by the time 3 came out, I was just so detached from the franchise. I didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
But I watched him play a good bit of 3, and it hit me at some point during this playthrough. I was like, "Bro, where are all the Final Fantasy characters at?"
Whoa, they didn't put him in?
Barely.
Aww.
I mean, yeah, it's strictly
I love those
heavily
cameos.
Disney focused.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, they're-
which Final Fantasy characters were they going to put in it? It's not like any of note have come out that anybody cares about in the last decade.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, well, I mean, by the time that the first one came out, fucking Final Fantasy VII was already however old.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really a matter of like had any new notable characters came out. I think it was like, hey, where are all the greatest hits?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean-
that's part of why I loved it. It was like, I love those cameos.
Yeah, so it was just mostly a Disney affair with their confusing ass storylines.
As MC Chris says, a fucked up flipper baby.
All right.
I mean, in my opinion, Square Enix hasn't come out with anything great in 30 years. So,
Yeah, I don't have the mental bandwidth right now to really contemplate on what they've done in
well,
the past
20,
20 years.
25, because it was 99 when Final Fantasy 9 came out. And I consider that to be the last great thing that they did.
My most overrated game is actually a franchise, Zelda.
That was going to be my runner-up, was specifically Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
You know?
I have noticed that the fans of that game are very defensive about it.
Well, it's like you know how like when the new iPhone comes out and they start talking about the shit that it does, and you're like, I could have swore my 4-year-old phone has always done that. I don't know why they're excited about it. It's like that. Like it's like Breath of the Wild came out like what was it, 10 years after Skyrim, and it's just cell shaded, cheap Skyrim, Temu Skyrim.
Yeah, this was one that I really don't have a whole lot of room to talk because I haven't played a Zelda game really in a long time, but I've seen a lot of them, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that looks. Yeah, it looks
But that's the thing. Like, none of them really have struck that chord of like, I want to play this.
Right, and that's the thing, right? For the game to be as good as they claim it is, I would have bought a Nintendo Switch and and played the shit. Mm-hmm. But I have not.
Like, I will give credit to 2 of those games. I'll give credit to Link to the Past, and I'll give credit to Ocarina.
Ocarina of Time is still one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
I will say that. Like, I that's one of those games from my childhood that I will always cherish. But as far as the rest of them goes, I really don't care.
Also, I need to understand why is it that damn near every time a new Zelda or a new Mario comes out, they either win Game of the Year or they're like some kind of weird runner-up. And again, maybe it's because I'm not actively playing these games, but I'm looking at them and I'm like, I'm fucking lost right now.
Well, what's the new one? Sky Kingdom, Tears of the Kingdom. And unless you're fucking IGN just making an absolute buffoon of yourself, like Tears of the Kingdom didn't even get runner-up in a lot of places. And people were like, oh, yeah, it's going to win Game of the Year, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, not if you have any fucking sense. Like, this is a game that's coming out on a console that came out in 2017, 2018?
Something like that.
And the hardware was 3 years old then. So you're essentially looking at a game that's coming out on a 10-year-old system. So the technical limitations are going to be immense. But, like, that doesn't mean that, like, you can have a game that's great that's not like, in 4K graphics and all this other stuff. But when your game hasn't evolved since Ocarina, and like you still don't have the basic production value of a modern game like voice acting, get the fuck out of here. Like, you can't even put that in the category for Game of the Year.
Well, there have been people who have been campaigning for the Elden Ring DLC to be Game of the Year.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know what
like, not even the whole game, just the DLC.
Well, because the game came out a couple years ago now.
Yeah, but no. Mm-hmm. Make him a separate category for DLC.
Yeah,
give him that.
That's
but,
expansion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if that's the case, can we give Baldur's Gate Patch 7 the Game of the Year? I mean,
even though none of us
see, I wish we lived in a world where Baldur's Gate 3 came out the same year as Elden Ring.
Right? Oh God, I would have loved to see the look of those people's faces.
Wow, you have been hanging around us too long. Speaking of Baldur's Gate, should we get into it?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think some proper introductions are in order before we get started.
Proper introductions are in order. So, homies, one and all, welcome back to a very special recovery episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and today I'm joined here by one of the nearest, closest, bestest pals that a guy could ask for. The homie Oz has returned.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Second time using the video. So this is
That's right.
Still getting used to that.
And hopefully you'll like this one more than the new Crow movie.
Oh, we're not going to talk about that one. I really don't want to. Nope.
And, of course, I have with me my very illustrious, passionate co-host, the homie Caleb.
What up? I have returned again. I wasn't even gone for 24 hours.
24 hours. And I love how he changed the fit up, but still kept it the fit.
Well, I got to keep the drip going.
That's true. Yeah.
The hose be thirsty.
I do love how though, like he kind of stole my wrestling gimmicks look. The whole like,
Well, it's kind of funny, right? Like we kind of swapped. Like I started wearing this kind of shit, and you started wearing cargo shorts and graphic tees.
that's true.
So we kind of just swapped.
Damn.
I mean, it is true though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know where you got the trucker hat. You can get that from me.
That's from Kevin. Trucker hat.
I inherited his old man energy. I was telling him about all the stuff I be bitching about on here, and he was just like, "Hell yeah, man, give me 5."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is the recovery edition. I don't know about you guys, but I still feel tired.
Man, you know what? When I got home from Dragon Con and slept in my own bed,
Oh yeah.
I slept like a goddamn rock.
Yes, yes.
Well, you guys were sleeping on that pull out, so I bet it
Oh
was
god,
double.
it was so bad.
And I don't know about ours, but I'm not accustomed to pulling out.
Right.
Never pull out.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Oh man, like
Defeats the purpose if you think about it.
no, but like I especially the first couple days, like having to go back to work the next. Like I didn't go back to work that Monday, luckily because of the holiday, but that Tuesday was garbage. But I felt like it was worse on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why. The second day back to work was atrocious. But by Thursday I was actually feeling okay.
I think it's because, like, that Monday, I like, slept in my own bed, took a shower at home. It's like, I'm good. I actually went out
Thanks
and
for
did.
clarifying for that. Like we do.
Yeah. I didn't shower the whole time. Yeah. You gotta keep that.
I'm sure there's some people who really didn't.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
I smelt
them.
a few people who didn't.
I smelt them, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta keep that Dragon Con stank.
Maybe like they just bottle it up as a fragrance by
Yeah.
Chanel.
So
Like,
next year in the
Dragon
vendor
Con
hall,
stank.
this is the 2024 Dragon Con stank.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was like Monday. I felt like I had some energy, and I like got out of the house and did some things, and that was a mistake. then I slept for like 20 hours, not consistently, but I like just stayed in the bed for like 20 hours, and then by Wednesday I was in the take me back mode, and I like wanted to go back to the con, and that's always the hardest thing because like by then everybody's like back home. All the Dragon Con groups, everybody's posting all their photos from the con, and like you just can't keep it off your feed, and you're just like,
Right.
it's the take me back phase of the recovery.
Yeah. So for me, I got home and when I got home that Sunday night, because it was like midnight or so.
Yeah.
I got home and then I did the whole unpacking thing and then threw some clothes in the wash already and took a shower, and I was doing all these things because I literally could not go to sleep till a certain time because when I left the apartment I turned the AC off. And so when I got home,
It was muggy
that
as fucking
AC,
here.
That AC said 87 degrees in here, and I was like, and it felt every bit of it.
Oh, I bet.
And so I had to wait, like a couple hours or so for like the apartment to
Regulate.
The omnis had done swell up. And
right. That would have been awful.
Oh no.
But yeah, man. That Monday, I ain't do jack shit. I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah, I didn't hear from you at all.
Oh yeah, no one did.
Yeah.
I could have been dead.
Yeah.
But by the time Tuesday came around, thankfully I was good again. So
Yeah, because you had a terrible day at work that day.
I did.
Because we actually, we went to go see Romulus on Wednesday. But on that Tuesday, I'd been like, hey, man, you want to go see Romulus? And I was like, the only showing is at 9:30. He was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be off work. I was like, maybe he didn't see that I said 9:30. Maybe he thought I said 6:30. I was like, At 9:30, he was like, "Yeah, dog, this don't." Yeah, I was like, "All right, man, I'll hit you tomorrow."
Yeah.
And luckily on Wednesday we were able to go see it.
Yeah.
See, I'm also training somebody at work too, and so like my Tuesday and Wednesday specifically were just not. This dude is doing great, but like I'm just like I don't have the mental spoons to be teaching people. Just let me do my job and go home.
I don't like training people when I'm good. You know,
That's fair, right? Exactly.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we're here today to talk about everything Dragon Con. If you guys have been listening to any of the podcasts that we've been doing, we have, we've been kind of hinting at this. We've been talking about leading up to it. If you listen to you got to be on Patreon to have listened to the Romulus already, right? Yeah. So if you already listened to that, then you know that this is the mothership right here. We're gonna bring you all the Dragon Con information. One of the cool things that happened this year is it almost kind of reminded me of SDCC because, like, a couple of panels we went to, we would go to the panel, and then about an hour later, I would look on comicbook.com, and they would have an article about the panel we had just left.
Holy shit.
And it was like, oh, yeah, such and such reveals at Dragon Con. Yeah, this is actually one such article right here from the Star Wars panel we went to, while appearing at Dragon Con. So, yeah, kind of crazy.
I'm actually pretty sad that I missed that, but I was dead that day.
You were. It was dope, though. Yeah.
Yeah, the panel was dope, not you being dead.
Either way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll take either. I gotta say, this was your first Dragon Con ever.
Yep.
Lost that cherry. I know you've been hearing us, and when I say us, I mean like 70% me.
Yeah, that's true.
30% everyone else talk about it for like a decade.
Oh yeah, like unfortunately, up until this point, something would come up every year that we couldn't go, and I was like, well, this year, fuck it, we're prioritizing the hell out of it. It's gonna happen, and we did it.
Yeah. So what'd you think? What was your overall kind of thoughts on it?
At first, it was wonder, then it was awe, and then oh god, then overwhelmed, then holy shit, that was fun.
That's accurate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's almost like I can't imagine going to Dragon Con without having a Caleb.
Oh, dude, like I will, like, massive props to you, dog. Like, without you, I think I would have probably left the first day.
Oh,
like I would have, like, yeah, it was rough.
It's so many people and having to navigate, around and trying to figure out. Oh well, this panel starts at 2, so I guess I'll get there at 1:50.
No.
My predictions this year were very good. Like,
they were, yes.
As far as when to be where, I would have liked to have been in the Hobbit line maybe another 45 minutes early.
Yeah.
But just logistically, we did very well on everything else. I'm learning the AI, the algorithm in here for Dragon Con is updating every year. It's almost perfect. I will say, like, I didn't really think about this at the time, but it's like, I have like the crew that I run with, and we are all kind of on like a very tight schedule for the whole time. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, people just kind of jump on and off of that, but yeah, I got to kind of wonder like what it's been so long for me that I don't remember. I think I just kind of, the first year I wandered around aimlessly and saw what I saw. But it's just like...
That would have been me this year without you, bro. Like, for real.
But I think Kevin kind of put it the best. He's like, yeah, man, I just like pay my money and then follow you around Atlanta. And I see dope shit. So...
Yeah, and it's like, I think this is my 4th.
Yeah. You guys are to the point where I don't worry about you.
Yeah, like we can actually wander off and find shit. and get there in a timely manner.
Yeah, y'all.
But it took 4 years to get there.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm gonna go do this. You guys be like, all right, I'm gonna go do that. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I will say I was almost attached to you at the hip for most of it.
Yeah, there was that one panel that I like dropped you off at it. You would have never found that Heroes panel.
I would have not. No.
It was bullshit. There's a reason I don't go to shit at that hotel. Because like we get to the Heroes panel and we were running very short on time. And we get there and it's like the line to get in is nowhere near the room where the actual thing is.
Yeah, it was rough.
And due to the traffic management that they have to do at Dragon Con, 75,000 people there this year. Yeah. You know, they kind of have to do that in a lot of circumstances to keep those hotels from, you know, feeling packed all the time. And even then, some areas at certain times do. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. So
speaking of line management and stuff like that, like the guy at the Baldur's Gate 3 panel,
he was all over it.
He was on top of that shit hardcore, and I appreciated every bit of it.
They being whatever nebulous force is over certain things probably informed the guy, hey, look, this panel is gonna be really fucking big.
Or maybe they were like, we need to put our best guy on it.
Or both.
Or both, yeah.
Did you guys think, I mean, you know, if you look online at anything, like, obviously the thing this year was Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys think it was going to be that way?
Honestly, I think I did, but, and again, I don't have experience at Dragon Con, so I don't know. But, like, as popular as they have been all over social media and every con that they go to, I thought it was going to be that way, so.
On one hand, it's hard to... it's hard to guess, right? Because literally Baldur's Gate 3, in terms of like what one would consider to be to achieve peak capacity for like for fandom and people coming out, it came out at the wrong time. Baldur's Gate 3 literally came out on Dragon Con last year.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
We saw like maybe 2 or 3 cosplays last year.
Right.
The best one I saw last year was it was a Gale, and he had a sign that was like, "Give me your magic items."
Because that's probably as far as they had gotten at that point.
That's true.
That was probably early access.
Because it was early access stuff, yeah.
Because it was only out on PC by Dragon Con.
Yeah.
It came out 30 days later on console.
That's right. Yeah, because the homie Kevin hadn't even played it yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, you fast forward a year, and it's like, okay, well, a year, that's long enough of a cycle for a fandom to explode in popularity, taper out, and die down.
Right.
But with Baldur's Gate 3, that was not the case.
Not at all.
It not only did it maintain popularity, I think that due to word of mouth, it may have just gotten bigger.
Oh, dude, like honestly, still highlight of the con for me was actually getting the picture with the Baldur's Gate 3 cast. It was you, me, Kay, and Jazz, and we, Will, Theo Solomon.
Yep. It was Will.
Devora, I can't remember her last name. Devora Wild.
Yep. Which is
Lae'zel.
Jennifer English.
Jennifer English is Shadowheart. And
Neil Newbin.
Neil Newbin, yeah, of course, Astarion. And
the squirrel.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about the squirrel.
But
she was actually more known for her behind the.
She's the animation coordinator.
Yeah, there we go.
And she's Jennifer's girlfriend.
Yeah, and they were so adorable. Oh my fucking god! Like I was just like.
So we can talk about this. So we're going into the shoot, and it's interesting because like, mine and yours, like our favorite characters weren't there.
No,
you're a Carlac person,
which I actually got her signature and a picture with her at MomoCon that year. So I was already satisfied. So I wasn't, I was hyped for this picture, but I wasn't as like, oh my god, I'm meeting Carlac,
And I'm very much into the old characters, like Jaheira is probably my favorite, and then Minx, even if Matt Mercer.
Oh my god, I would have fucking died.
Yeah. If Matt Mercer ever comes to Dragon Con, he'll know about it before I do. Like, he'll be like, "Hey, dog, so I'm with your crew at Dragon Con this year. We're gonna go to everything Matt Mercer is doing."
Yep.
I'll be like, "Okay."
Everything.
So they weren't there, and we had Kay and Jazz with us, and Jazz is very much a Lae'zel person, and Kay's very much an Astarion person. So we walk in to the shoot, and you kind of see them all there, and it's really funny when you look at the reactions to the picture posted, it's one of two things. Either you don't know who these people are at all because they're voice actors. Or you do know who they are, and you're like, that's the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
And I grab Kay, and I walk up to Neil Newman, and I'm like, she wants to be next to you.
And I do the same thing with Jazz to Devore.
And Neil's like, okay. And he's like, can I touch you? And Kay can't speak by this point. She just nods. And so he grabs her up, you know, and I don't know where to stand at because, like, this, I'll run with this party, sure, you know, whatever. But this is actually my Dark Urge party that's in the room right now, minus Will. And so Shadowheart just kind of grabs me, and she's like, "You're right here," and I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
And I didn't know where to stand either, but like immediately, I'm over here next to Devore and Jazz, and I was like, nobody's standing next to Will. So he kneels down because he's tall as shit. I'm talking about, I think he's almost as tall as Neil. Like, that's how tall he is. And he kneels down and does his Blade of Frontiers, and I just kind of mirror that on the other side. And I was like, yeah, this is cool as shit.
Getting to see them take the photo with them was incredible. Like, the energy of that cast.
All the way up. Like we could feel it.
All the way up.
Yeah, the picture looked dope as hell.
Yeah.
You know?
You can feel the camaraderie amongst them, and it's very warm. And, like, it's like... You know, like, we also got a photo with D'Onofrio, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of awkward. You know, not, like, bad, but it's just like, it's Vincent D'Onofrio. He's motherfucking Kingpin. He stands there.
And he's also enormous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you just, like, you know, he doesn't really give you any kind of guidance. He's just like, I'm Vincent D'Onofrio, bitch. And he stands there. And you also stand there. But with these guys, they're very much, you know, hands-on, with consent. They're very much like just got high energy. They want to interact with the fans because none of these people thought they were going to be famous, right?
Like, not to this level.
No, right. None of them.
Because, like, all of them have done work on the
sure.
projects, but, like, they have not achieved the fame this game has given them.
Sure, but Jennifer English has talked about going to, I forget what the name of the con was in London. It's like the biggest con in the UK. And this was, like, right before the game came out. Like, it was still in early access. And she was, like, thrilled that there was a wait of, like, 10 or 11 people at her table. She was like, oh, you know, I went to this con and was able to pay my rent. Like, fuck yeah, you know? Yeah. And then, like, a year later, there's a 3-hour wait at Dragon Con to talk to her, you know? So, like, yeah, none of them ever thought that they were going to be this kind of famous because not only was the cosplay for Baldur's Gate 3 the most popular cosplay, which I'm so proud of the Dragon Con attendees for not Deadpooling it up. I also didn't see not one Hawk to a girl. Not one.
We did, however, see
proud of all of you.
the breakdancing Olympian, though.
That's true.
But that shit's funny.
Fucking Reagan. She broke the Olympics, man. I don't know what that is.
I did not see enough of the German
the Turkish
shooter guy. Is it Turkish?
Pretty sure it's Turkish,
yeah. I did see one of those. I think we were all sitting together. Yeah.
But Baldur's Gate was like just like these were the most popular people there. They had to move them out of the Hall of Fame to a separate room because all of them had a long line. And like I'm going to tell you, there were more people waiting to meet Neil Newman. We walked through the Walk of Fame there at the end. There were more people waiting to meet Neil Newman than every single other person in the Walk of Fame combined.
And that's insane.
And that's saying something. Like, so you talk about how like they didn't expect to be famous. And that's kind of the way the Critical Role cast was originally. Like how they were like, we just started streaming this on Geek and Sundry, and then it just blew up from there. Now they have an animated series, and like it's so strange to them how like they didn't think this was gonna bring them fame, like not to this level. And now you go to like Gen Con or any of the major cons that the Baldur's Gate, the Critical Role cast go to, and there's lines out the door for them every time. So
I would love it if they came to Dragon Con.
Oh my god! Like y'all couldn't tell me shit at all. Like that would be my whole focus period all the time.
Well, obviously, like the Baldur's Gate 3 cast, like they have to know Matt.
Neil actually talks about him quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean they worked together on the game.
Yeah.
And then
how much of that though was
From what I understand, most of it was through because it was during COVID.
It was all over Zoom and stuff. But I mean, like Sven played Baldur's Gate.
God damn it!
God damn,
sorry.
just headbutting the mic in the middle of the episode.
My bad, guys.
Sven played Baldur's Gate with Matt Mercer on a live stream. So like they have to at least be on like speaking terms.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing about a lot of people don't know about this is like Dragon Con doesn't reach out to any guests, not one. So Matt Mercer, if you happen to be listening to this,
yeah, dog, please.
When Oz gets done filling the room, and we get done cleaning it all up, please apply to be at Dragon Con in 2025
and agree to be on our show afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. But if you can only pick one of those things,
that's fair.
Dragon Con.
Then be on the show.
Bro, like, can you imagine if we like had Matt Mercer on, we just don't tell him, and like we just put the episode out and don't say anything?
Bruh, like, I think I would have a fucking heart attack.
That would be amazing. Here's the funny thing: it's like something like that. That's probably how it would go down because we can't tell people.
No,
that's
God,
right.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Man, that got me thinking, man, about how like the cast of BG3 probably didn't expect this kind of explosion in popularity and fandom, but it got me thinking about like it was kind of the same way with Red Dead Redemption cast, with actually both of them, but particularly the first one. Those guys, they actually still do conventions and it's quite revealing. Like for one thing, the actor who does Arthur, the protagonist from the second game, he's actually, I think he's Irish. And so hearing him speaking like his normal speaking voice is very off-putting. And I'm like, who is he? And then he'll put on the Arthur voice, and then it's like
fuck. That's kind of like Rick Grimes. Like,
oh yeah,
it's so off-putting.
It's Charlie Cox for me is one of those.
Oh yeah,
when you hear his real accent.
I guess I don't know that.
He's British.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Charlie Cox is British. Yeah. But he's got that fucking New York accent.
Oh, he does. He does.
Let me ask you, I don't want to rabbit hole us too bad here, but what do you think about Jeffrey Dean Morgan saying he would like to play Arthur Morgan?
Oh, wow.
I think that's a great cast.
That is a great cast.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's excellent.
That's like God tier casting right there.
Yeah, let's make that shit happen. The actor who plays John Marston, he's in the second game, but he's the main protagonist of the first game. His story was very interesting because unlike the actor for Arthur, the actor for John, he was not a trained actor in any capacity. And the voice you hear in the game is that motherfucker's actual voice. Like he 1,000% talks like that. And so like I'm watching this. It's footage from a con that they were at. And, they sit down and Arthur, that for Arthur, he's speaking and he's like, oh, I did not expect that voice to come from him. And then the Arthur for John speaks like, hey, how y'all doing today? And it's just 1,000%. And I was like, oh, is he just putting on for the tent?
No, this is who he is.
And then like a fan asked a question like, so how did you guys find the voices for your characters? And John was like, wait, what do you mean?
I just speak.
Something I think that is kind of a sign of a culture shift, right, is, I've been going to Dragon Con for a long time, and I got to say that I've never seen the most popular people at a convention be voice actors of any capacity ever. And I think that kind of just goes to the sort of modern importance of voice acting, like in the 90s and whatnot, and even in the early 2000s. Voice acting was not really treated as this craft like, stage or screen acting was. And I think that we've seen that change a lot. I think part of that is due to the rise of anime. Mm-hmm. And obviously in Japan, like in the Japanese culture, voice actors are much more revered than they were in Western culture. And so now you have a lot of, people who are our generation and younger that are very into anime in Western culture. And so they then pick up on these voice actors. And so those voice actors are becoming more famous. And so companies are much more likely to, invest in quality voice acting. So it's kind of has this very positive cyclic effect. And also, too, video games and things like that have come a long way as far as voice acting. I mean, you go from like Final Fantasy X.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Probably the worst example.
It was still new, man.
Or Resident Evil 1. That shit is really awful.
I mean, hell, even the live action footage from those games. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh. I'm the master of unlocking. And then, you compare that to something like Baldur's Gate 3 where they have these just fantastic voice actors. So I got to say, that is the first time that I've ever seen something like that. When I saw the lineup and I saw that, like, Jared Padalecki was going to be there, that, Elijah Wood and Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan were going to be there. And don't get me wrong, all of them had a huge following. Like, I think the most popular panel at the entire con, as far as I could see, for like how many people wanted to get in, was the D&D Live with Commander Shepard as the fucking DM for the Baldur's Gate.
And I didn't even realize that was a thing. Like, I knew they were playing D&D. I did not realize it was Commander Shepard DMing for them. I would have said, fuck y'all. I'm going.
You said you were dead that day.
I know.
Yeah, and I had some friends in that line you could have jumped in with, so.
That's true.
And then, and you actually wouldn't even have to wait outside. It was the first panel, so they just let people right in the room, so.
Dope.
But I would say easily the second most popular panel was the Hobbits. Yeah. And they had 2 of those, and the line was wrapped for both of them.
Whew, yeah.
We were way back. A lot of people in our group that had never been to something like that didn't think we were going to get in. I was like, no, we would get in. It'd be fine.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the I guess the glow up or blow up of voice work, and it almost seems like there should be a different name for it now, right? Especially or even with video games, because now if you get hired on to do a video game, you're not just providing voice for the character. In a lot of cases, you put on the mocap suit,
right? Yeah, you're acting out a lot of the physicality of it.
Yeah, tell Christopher Judge that he just voiced Kratos.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and the same thing with the Baldur's Gate cast.
Yep.
And not only that, but you kind of are that character, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of them have that likeness to them too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the X-Men 97 cast, they're not having to mocap anything, but I guarantee you, like a lot of them played their characters in the 90s.
Yeah.
And they're still playing those damn characters.
Mm-hmm.
But even the newer voice actors, like, I guarantee you they're going to be called to play those characters for other projects.
Oh, yeah.
Look at, anybody out there, like CCH Pounder played Amanda Waller in, like, 40 different animation
she became the
things.
voice, yeah.
Michael Rosenbaum was, was he Barry Allen?
Wow.
He was Barry Allen in a few things.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I think in the original
He's
Flashpoint
still Lex Luthor to me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What'd you say, y'all?
He's still Lex Luthor to me.
Oh, same. Same.
He is the only honestly, he's the only on-screen Lex Luthor that I accept.
I mean, there was an argument for Kevin Spacey, but problematic now. So,
I don't mind the OG Luthor.
oh yeah, press the button. Press the button.
Oh.
Wrong. There we go. It's the only part of his Lex performance that remains.
But Gene Hackman was good. He was very much on par with how Lex was in the 70s.
Yeah.
The Baldur's Gate cast, they were great, and I can't imagine what that D&D panel was going to be like. Kevin and I, we were going to go, but man, there were just too many things, and so we had to really kind of manage what we wanted to do. So we decided to do the just the general Baldur's Gate 3 panel, I guess the day before.
Yeah.
And so we could make the Marvel panel on the following day.
And that was tremendous.
It was.
I gotta say too, man, like this was the hardest year to schedule our stuff because
Absolutely.
it was like normally there'll at least be a little gap in there where I can be like, all right, there's nothing going on at this time that we really want to do, so that's when we'll go eat lunch. This year it was like, well, I guess we're going to have to cut this panel if we want to eat.
Yeah. I will say, like, I that was probably my biggest, I guess, quote-unquote, gripe, is the fact that there was so much shit I wanted to do happening at the same goddamn time.
Yeah.
Like, immediately after, like, honestly, so we went to the Baldur's Gate 3 panel, and in the middle of that, Kay was not feeling well, so you asked me if we wanted to go do the picture with the Hobbits. And I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah. I was like, we gotta go right now, though. I was like, shit.
Yeah, okay. I was like, no, we have to get up and leave right now.
Yeah, like they had we had like 10 minutes left in the panel. Like, don't get me wrong, I wish I would have. Huh?
It was the X-Men panel, right?
No, it was Baldur's Gate. I was more.
Okay,
yeah, it was the Baldur's Gate panel.
We had to get from the Westin, from like whatever floor we were on in the fucking Westin Willy
Back
Wonka
over to the
Hotel,
Marriott, down into
the depths of the Marriott.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly how long it would take us to walk there.
Yeah, you did. And we got there, we did the picture, and immediately after, I wanted to go to the Heroes panel, and you had to take me over there.
Dropped him off at that, and then I got in line for the Hobbit panel.
Yeah, yeah. Was it the panel, or was it? It was the panel. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, no, I think you came and got lunch with me and Kevin.
Yeah, and then went to get in line.
I really dug like their like going back to Baldur's Gate 3 cast, like their whole vibe, and just how how casual they are about conversations about the game now. It was really cool.
Oh yeah. One little quick note on that. We were at the panel, and like Caleb, you definitely pointed this out. Is like how flamboyant Neil Newbin is.
Yeah,
and like you can tell when he realized he's kind of the diva of the group, and like if he doesn't pull himself back, he'll just answer every question. Right. So we saw that a few times. I was like, I respect that.
he would give these really long, in-depth answers if he sensed that nobody else wanted to answer the question.
Right.
And I really loved that, like just how considerate he was, because I am the talking monologue person in our group, I think, who will just go on. Bear with me here. Yeah, bear with me here. And Neil, you could tell they would ask a question and he would answer like one or two and give like a long ass answer, and then you'd see him just kind of sit back for a bit.
Yep.
And if he sensed that other people were giving like a short answer or really didn't have a lot to say, then he would jump in. We actually made Neil Newbin blush in that panel. And I think that's the only time I've ever seen that happen. I feel like that's a difficult thing to do.
I think so too. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was your question, wasn't it?
It wasn't my question. My question was that they asked my question in the '97 panel.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I was the one blushing because when they actually asked it, I was like, "Oh shit,
right.
This is happening right now."
This shit was funny as hell because the moderator was like, "And we have a question from Stormbless," and I leaned over to Kevin. Like, that sounds like Caleb's name.
Yeah, and I was like, right here.
I was like, that is Caleb.
Yeah. And I'm in the Dunkings suit, so I'm very easy to spot.
Oh yeah, very much so.
So yeah, the question that he was asked, that Neil was asked, was. The whole cast was asked this. They said, kind of, what is your favorite like romance scene in the game? And Neil just immediately is like, "Oh, I did everyone."
Yeah. To his defense, that's what my mind went to.
Yeah.
No, I could tell because my brain guessed based on the person who asked the question that they literally meant, "What's your favorite romance scene?" Just a guess, an educated wish.
Right.
Educated wish.
And Neil's like, "Oh, I did everyone. Anyone that the game would let me do, I did them." Next person. And then Jennifer's like, "Well, I really..." This is a terrible Jennifer English. "I really loved the Lae'zel sunrise scene over Baldur's Gate." And like halfway through her answer, Neil is over there like,
"Oh no!" And like, he even does the face. Yeah,
he grabs his face. And it turned. His cheeks turned redder than this vitamin water.
Oh.
And he's like, "I'm so sorry. He's like, I misunderstood the question." And he just, you can tell he's just blubbering at this point. Like he's just trying to talk as fast as he can to get over the embarrassment of being like, "I fucked everybody."
Yeah. There was a remarkable amount of because I know there's that, especially that large part of the Baldur's Gate 3 culture that is, this is basically a video game dating sim. But there was a remarkable lot of questions about what they would rather like who they would want to sleep with and what scenes were good for them at that panel.
A lot of the questions were really good this year. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I think that because last year we were in the writer's strike and everything had to be like sly as fuck.
Yeah.
Last year was rough because there was a lot of good guests, but they technically weren't allowed to talk about the projects they were working on.
Unless you're Paul Bettany, you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Paul Bettany didn't give a fuck.
Didn't give a fuck.
He was like, so on WandaVision.
Yeah. Where was that moderator?
Yeah, I think that moderator might not be there because I don't remember seeing him come back.
No, it was a girl. The girl.
Oh, it was a girl. Yeah. Well, she's probably one of Paul Bettany's like side chicks. 'Cause she was flirting with him the whole time. She was like making it very obvious that she would love some Paul Bettany dick if he wants to sling some. And we were like, "Get it, girl," See if he's a machine. And so but yeah, they couldn't talk about their work, so it was a whole lot of what's your favorite destination getaway for a vacation and just a bunch of shit like that.
Now that Elijah and Sean, they cleverly asked, when we took our vacation to New Zealand. And that involved jewelry. Like literally, that's what they were saying.
Oh, that's fucking great.
It was incredible. They were the best ones because they talked around it. They were like, so our vacation to New Zealand. And that's how they always would talk about it.
Yeah.
And this year, though, we actually got to like straight up ask them some things. And they told some really good stories. Billy Boyd actually told a story that literally don't think they've ever told before. Because I've seen a ton of like backstage behind the scenes and interviews with them over the years, and they've done thousands by now.
Oh yeah.
But the Billy Boyd story about the like stagehand or whatever getting covered in his feces was kind of hilarious.
I was like, holy shit, quite literally.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah, that was fucked.
So breaking news here, Elijah Wood spoiled the fuck out of something during this panel. He was asked about War of the Rohirrim, which is an upcoming animated Lord of the Rings movie, not to be confused with the currently airing Rings of Power.
It's aired now? Oh.
It's coming out now, and it seems to be pretty fucking meh. But yeah, so the War of the Rohirrim's coming out, and somebody asked like, "Oh, hey, were any of you guys like contacted to like be in that or whatever?" And Elijah Wood's immediately like, "Oh yeah, both these guys are in it. It's fucking great." And both of them were just like, And he's like, "What I mean is, it's probably going to be a good film, and they really want to see it."
I actually forgot about that.
That was great.
Yeah, because it was not public knowledge yet, and it's still not public knowledge that they're in it.
Well, it's public knowledge.
It is now.
What I mean is it's not officially announced. Okay. So you heard it here, folks. Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd are very likely going to be voicing characters in War of the Rohirrim.
That's another group though. Like just seeing their camaraderie, like you could tell they're family now. Like,
the
it's
whole
very
cast.
much like us. They're fucking family.
That whole cast for sure.
Yeah, because when you're here, you're family.
Oh no.
Oh god, especially the 4 hobbits.
Yeah.
And I would say even more specifically, like Sean Astin and Elijah Wood together is so special. But because they filmed the most scenes together. But, anytime any members of those casts interact with each other, it is tremendous. You never see Viggo Mortensen at anything. I'm assuming he doesn't like to do cons and shit.
But not to say that the other guys aren't. They definitely are. But Viggo, he really seems like an actor's actor.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very much that, regal, like, I am an actor, Yeah.
Yeah, like when they called him to be in The Hobbit. And they were like, "Would you be interested in reprising your role to be in The Hobbit?" And he's like, "Aragorn's not in The Hobbit," and then just hangs up. Like, fucking love that shit.
Did he really do that?
Yeah, that's a real story.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a real story. Like he straight up was like, Aragorn's
I would
not in
have
there.
hated it even more if that was the case. Like if they actually did get him to come back. Oh God, no.
They got Legolas.
I mean, they already put a bunch of shit in there that wasn't in there. So.
That's true.
But
speaking of just how busy this year's Dragon Con was, this is how busy it was, homies. Like there was a Wolverine 50-year anniversary panel that had the likes of Jason Aaron and Larry Hama and like a bunch of other heavy hitter Marvel comic writers and people who worked on the character over the years. And I couldn't make it.
yeah.
And it's like any other year at
You'd have been all over that.
Absolutely. But it just goes to show just how crazy Dragon Con has become.
So, to speak more on the craziness of Dragon Con, I remember like in the Baldur's Gate 3 panel, they were talking about how I think it was them talking about how it's like the Burning Man of conventions.
Jennifer English.
Yeah, Jennifer English said that. Yeah, I was like, oh God, this is the first one I came to. What the fuck?
It kind of is. I mean, it is kind of the Burning Man of con because, I mean, to those of you who have never been, like Dragon Con is very much like. I've been to like all different kinds, right? I've been to San Diego Comic-Con, and San Diego Comic-Con, when that con ends at the end of the day, like it's in a convention center, and about 7 or 8, it's over with. There's some things going on, but for the most part, everyone leaves and they go out into San Diego. Now, San Diego is popping during the con, but for Dragon Con, that doesn't really happen. Like the people who don't want to be part of the party con just go back to their rooms. And around 4 o'clock, there starts to be a shift in like, oh, I have to go to this panel to, all right, well, let me start to get something to drink. You start seeing the flavor of cosplay changes a bit. And by 9 p.m., if you're still there at 9, you're in the party.
Yeah. Yes.
And it goes all night, folks. I mean, there's panels at Dragon Con at 2 o'clock in the morning. The con doesn't sleep. And, it is very much a situation where at night it's a giant party, and during the day it's a con. And somewhere mid-afternoon it's like a mixture.
Yeah.
It was very evident Sunday morning, though.
Oh my God.
By Sunday morning, the people who were partying at night were fucking dead.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I remember we were in line for Star Wars, and I had to go pee, so I went and just ducked off to go to the restroom, and it was like I was in fucking The Walking Dead. Like, where are the people?
It was like if you walked into that Marriott like right now,
Yeah.
Nothing going on at the Marriott. That's
Right.
what it was like.
There's like 4 or 5 employees slinking around, a couple of citizens.
It was the quietest it had ever been since I've been there.
Yeah, I never have seen the lull on Sunday morning. Normally it's slow, but like this was like 9:30 or something, and like everyone was still just really slow to get out.
I mean, I like me.
Oh, yeah.
That was the day. I was like, I can't. Like, I contemplated not even coming out.
Oh man.
But I was like, you know what? The other half of our party's leaving. I don't want to just stay in this fucking hotel room. Let's go do something.
I bet you're glad you came out, though.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
The Vincent D'Onofrio panel was that. What's his name?
Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter.
I mean, it was the Vincent D'Onofrio panel.
That just happened to be there.
Yeah, so that's another big panel we went to. We got a photo with Vincent D'Onofrio, me and Ace and the homie Kevin.
Yep.
I call him Vinny D. We're on first name basis.
Oh,
yeah.
but no, he's also he's a brother fuck.
He's a brother.
Brother folks. And,
Which we haven't even talked about any of that yet.
yeah, we're going to save all that for the end. Here at the end of this, we're going to just talk about some of the shenanigans we got up to. And they were plentiful. So many things that will be referenced for the ages. But, so we went to the Vincent D'Onofrio and Mike Coulter panel. And I got to say, I wasn't like head over heels for this panel. A lot of people wanted to talk to Vincent D'Onofrio about his other work.
Yeah, like his the Full Metal Jacket and some of his.
So I do understand Full Metal Jacket. Like,
I mean that was the role that put him on the map.
yeah,
I think, right? Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That and probably Men in Black.
Yeah, but no one asked anything about Men in Black.
No.
I wonder how many people recognize him. You know.
Yeah. Barely anybody asked anything about Jurassic World.
Yeah, it was like one person asked about Jurassic World.
And I will say that there were a lot more of older con goers that came in to ask those questions too. Like that, I was like, okay, this makes sense because this man is a decorated actor. Like he's been in a lot of shit.
Is it just me, or do you never see old people at MomoCon, really?
You don't.
But there's a lot of them at DragonCon.
That is fair.
How many old people understand anime?
That's true.
I mean, think about it. I barely understand anime.
Same.
I mean, the only one of the one of those people that come to mind though is Vaughn. Vaughn was all about some fucking anime.
There is always an exception to every rule.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because it is a video game and anime convention.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because, like, going back to the voice acting earlier, like, it's common for voice actors to be the main attraction there.
Yeah, at MomoCon, yeah, 100%.
But I've never seen it at DragonCon. It's crazy. But D'Onofrio got asked a lot of stuff. Mike Coulter was just kind of there hanging out.
I kind of felt bad for him a little bit. Like, no one really asked him anything. Like, there's like 2 questions, maybe.
Yeah, he had like 2 or 3 questions, and I was like, "Where's all the Luke Cage stuff?" I want to hear more about his work on Luke Cage, and like, it was just weird how people were asking like these fucking obscure questions to D'Onofrio, and I'm like,
it was very obscure. Like, I mean, he did go into like a almost 30-minute story about how he got the job on Full Metal Jacket, though.
That was cool, though.
I mean, I actually enjoyed that, but like at the same time, I'm over here like, that's not why this panel's here, though.
Yeah, I was like, I want to hear some Marvel shit that I can take back and tell the homies.
Right? Yeah.
But instead, all I can tell you guys is about how he met Stanley Kubrick and got the role on Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was very much like when I went to that Heroes panel, because, like, you guys know how obsessed I was over that show for a very long time. And, like, I know the popularity of it was, very wavery at best. Season 1, still the greatest. Oh, yeah. But I went to this, so Matt Parkman, Nathan Petrelli, Seth Green was in one fucking episode. He was in, he was a comic, in the comic book store that Hero goes into. And Isaac Mendez, they were the panel. And while it was cool to see them, it was very underwhelming because they barely talked about the show.
Right.
That's what the panel says. Heroes reunion, not what are you doing now? Don't get me wrong, I appreciate that, but I wanted to nerd out with some fucking Heroes fans.
And I feel like the role of the moderator in part is part of keeping the panel on course is to kind of make sure that they're delivering what the fucking what the panel's called. Yeah. So it's like if there's a bunch of people asking questions that are non-hero related at a Heroes panel, it should be up to the moderator to be like, so let me ask you this, and then kind of get things back.
So I will say it wasn't as much the moderator's fault as it actually was the actors. Like, they were the ones, it reminded me of us when we rabbit hole on this show. It really did. Because, oddly enough, they're all still really good friends.
I believe it.
Like, I will say, I think the one that was kind of the odd man out, though, was the actor who plays Isaac, Santiago Cabrera. Because he was only in one season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so, at the end of that season.
Yeah, so...
He never had to make it to the bad season.
That's a fair point.
Lucky fuck.
But yeah, it was weird, man. And also, Nathan has not really aged well, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
He's definitely showing a lot of wear and tear.
Same haircut, though. Pastar.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the Rock and Roll Express. Like, he uses a 10-year-old photo.
Yeah.
On the poster.
He does still have the same haircut, though.
He does, yeah.
But he now has a really ridiculous mustache.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's big on porn stash. Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to play live-action Omni-Man.
Other than his height, yeah, I can see it.
I mean, obviously, if they're going to do a live-action Omni-Man, they should just fucking get Jay Jonah.
100%.
Like, if he can be a roided-out Santa Claus, goddammit.
Right?
Yeah. It was weird. Remember when he got swole for no reason?
The picture went viral, man.
What the fuck is going on here?
It was like around the time that he got cast as Commissioner Gordon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Did y'all tell him he's not playing Batman?" Like,
we said you're going to be in a scene with Batman.
why,
my bad.
dang, dog. Why I put on 70 pounds of muscle?
That shit was crazy.
They're like, now we're gonna have to put a big ass coat on you when you play Gordon.
Yeah, I gotta put a heavy ass trench coat on you because you got the biggest arms in the room.
What panel was it that they were talking mostly about? Like the first part of it was like them talking about their workout routine. Like
it was D'Onofrio,
was it D'Onofrio? Yeah, like it was just like
yeah. Because
one question they did ask Mike Coulter that was kind of a good one was like, because I never thought about him having to put on size to play Luke Cage. I just always assumed the motherfucker was that big.
Me too, yeah.
And like just like the difficulty of putting on muscles for a TV show versus a movie. Because with the movie, you put on the weight, and 6 to 8 months you're done filming, and then you go on to your next thing. But with the TV show, he was
gotta have to maintain that shit.
Yeah, because you might get a 3 or 4 month break, but you got to go back and film again.
And you got to be in the same shape, if not better.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mike Coulter was like. It's crazy because his like screen presence is so strong, but he's kind of a shy dude. You know?
Yeah,
it's crazy, right? Because he and D'Onofrio seem to be like the same height, which is enormous. Mm-hmm. and it's like, how are you gonna be that big and that timid almost?
right. Yeah. Like I thought D'Onofrio was fucking hilarious. Like, oh god, we'll get to the end, like a little bit later.
Oh, the end.
That bullshit was funny, but like it was weird, like just to like hear him talk the way he does, like because it is reserved. Like you can see it from D'Onofrio and Coulter. Mm-hmm. So it was like, that is so strange. Like they demand so much presence on screen. Oh, yeah. But then they're talking to people in a con, and they're just kind of like,
what did D'Onofrio? Did he tell the kid to fuck off? He said something.
No. So I can't even. Do you remember the question?
Yeah. So the question is, they asked him. They said your character in Full Metal Jacket, Kingpin, and it was another character.
Jurassic World, right?
No, it was another like a kind of more obscure character.
Okay.
And they were like, if the three of them hung out in a room, what do you think they would talk about? And to set it up for you guys, so like we're at the end of the panel. We actually were over.
Yeah, like I think it was D'Onofrio.
Yeah, the moderator's trying to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. And D'Onofrio was like, no, we're going to listen to this one kid.
Mike Coulter.
Oh, it was Coulter.
Yeah, he was like, this guy been standing here for a long time.
Right.
What's your question? And it's funny because like then he didn't even have a question for Mike Coulter.
Right.
And he's like, so for Vincent D'Onofrio. And by this time, I'm like rolling my eyes. So I'm like, this is the goddamn Vincent D'Onofrio, like, Days of Our Lives panel.
Yeah.
And, he asked him the question. And D'Onofrio, after this kid has, like, he's been standing there the whole time. He now thinks that, like, he's lost his chance to ask this question that he thinks is clever. He gets called back up by Mike Coulter, which I'm not sure if he knew who Mike Coulter was.
That's a fair point.
And he's like, ask your question. He asked the question, and I shit you not, Vincent D'Onofrio is just like, I'll be honest, I couldn't give a single fuck.
D'Onofrio dropped like 6 or 7 F-bombs throughout this panel.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was very apparent, like, he gave no fucks about that rule at all, because like they definitely, you could tell the other panelists were like keeping it PG, but like he didn't give it shit.
Right. It's like, I'm Kingpin, bitch. What you expect?
He really did.
Yeah.
It was something, man. See that answer.
But my favorite part of that, when he said, I could really give a fuck, was when Kevin and you lost your shit when he said it.
Yeah, when he says this, so like me and Kevin, I think Brendan was sitting in between us.
Yeah, it was I think you, Kevin, Brendan, me, you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought Brendan was sitting between me and Kevin.
Yeah, Brendan might have been sitting next to you. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I think it was me, Brendan, Kevin, and then you. Or was
I don't think it really fucking matters.
Either way, yeah. But so what happens is when he says this shit to this kid, me and Kevin just lose it. Like, you're in an auditorium setting. You got to sit there and be a good little quiet kid and listen to the panel, And, and like, we cannot contain ourselves.
Like, you lose it, but what really sets it off is Brendan. he starts fucking like loud cackling, and it's echoing through this fucking auditorium.
And it starts to spread.
And it starts to spread. Our whole row, we all start laughing. The rows around us start laughing. And, like, I'm sure on the recording of that panel, you can probably hear it.
I will say Brendan's was very audible. Like, you could tell his. That's what got me. Was like, I was like, damn, that was fucked up. But then y'all started laughing, and then that's what got me. I was like, shit.
He just lets out this, like, like loud ass.
Oh, yeah. It was rough.
Oh, it's just
I want to know what
kid.
that kid was thinking.
Oh, I felt really bad for the kid, though. Like, oh, damn.
Well, there's nothing, like, there's nothing wrong with asking a question like that, but it is just sort of this weird, like, bottom of the barrel kind of fandom type question.
It doesn't mean anything,
No, and also, I feel like you got to read the room.
Yeah.
Like, Vincent D'Onofrio is not the type of person to answer a question like that.
Right.
Like, the Baldur's Gate 3 cast 100% will answer that fucking question. But Vincent D'Onofrio couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, as he stated. Now, granted, in his credit, just in case he watches this, he didn't leave it at that. He did
expound. Yeah.
He did talk about it a little bit, but it's kind of the reason that we don't sit up here and talk about like, oh, who would win in a fight between fucking Lex Luthor and fucking Citizen Cold, because but it's bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel. It doesn't.
That's
matter.
parlor game shit.
Say what?
That's parlor game shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might talk about that if we're just sitting around drinking bullshit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
or playing Super Fight.
Yeah, which we did a lot of it.
Yeah, and that's the reason why like this is one of the only superhero based podcasts that doesn't talk about who will win between this person and that person. No disrespect to those that do.
Yeah, if you enjoy that, by all means.
Yeah. It's just. Motherfucker, who's writing it? Ask them, and they'll tell you. Mm-hmm. But Kevin and I, we actually got to attend not one, but technically 2 Giancarlo Esposito panels.
Yeah, I want to hear about this before we talk about the Star Wars one.
Yeah, so this was another one where like the line would not fucking end for this panel, and when we got in line, we still weren't at the end of it. It just kept going. This panel was really incredible, and most people know Giancarlo Esposito for like playing Gus Fring, or
that's what I know him most for. Yeah,
or Stan Edgar, or Moff Gideon, all villains, definitely all.
I can't remember his character, but in the show, but it was Revolution. He was really good in that too.
The first thing I saw him in, I was a kid. He was in Do the Right Thing. Which was kind of another antagonistic character of a sort, but but it was interesting, right? Because most people know him primarily as being like this villain who has like this real strong stoic presence. This guy, he's so
jovial.
And
oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, and he has like he acts like every day is just a new lease on life. And like the energy he has is very infectious, and every question he asked, everything he said, it was all about like mindfulness type stuff, and really just being present in the moment and enjoying what you do, and just it was very motivational, but very much you can tell it was very much him. He wasn't putting on an act. It was just who he was and like his outlook on life and things like that. But it was a very good panel, and this is one of those things where like he had done so many movies and TV shows throughout the years. There were some Gus questions in there, but there honestly weren't that many.
I mean, while Gus Fring is definitely one of the most impactful characters in Breaking Bad, he still had a short run. Like, it was still
you're right, but that goes to show how impactful that role was.
Exactly. No, like, it's still, I think, my favorite role he's ever been in. Still to this day.
I mean, he came back and played it for, I think, 3 seasons of Better Call Saul.
3 seasons of Better Call Saul.
Oh, dope. I still need to watch that.
And that was also incredible, his performance there as well, because it was Gus before he becomes on
Yeah.
his way up. To,
Yeah. Like that. Oh god, that's good.
I've never been able to get into that show, but I should try it again.
What, Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Same.
The first half of the series is different from the second half. But man, like I really enjoyed both halves of it. I think it's definitely a shot.
I'm definitely one of those people. Like I'm very much a Breaking Bad was one of the most perfect stories ever told because they had a start, middle, and finish. They had a vision for the show and they completed it. They didn't drag it out, and that's part of the reason why I think I'm not into the Better Call Saul or El Camino.
I thought El Camino was a great.
I'm not saying it's not a good movie, but I still didn't need it.
I think the story needs El Camino.
I didn't like. I felt.
Like Walter's story doesn't need it, but Jesse's does, and I think they're the main characters.
No, I definitely agree with that. I didn't feel I needed El Camino, but like, moreover, I really don't need Better Call Saul.
I just want a sequel to Breaking Bad where Skylar gets remarried and the same shit happens to her.
God damn. The ending of Better Call Saul, I won't spoil it, but that shit was hauntingly beautiful.
Damn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I really dug the ending of it.
What's the guy? Is it Vince Gilligan? Is that the guy that makes those shows?
Yeah.
He's really good.
He is, man. He's excellent.
Like I wonder if there's gonna be like a film school taught on his like style of like show running at some point. You know,
Needs to be.
Because I mean at this point he's done what 10 fucking seasons basically of like highbrow fucking top notch television.
Right.
Everybody was talking about that Esposito panel, not just you guys, but like people on the groups online, and just talking about how like just deep and philosophical and thorough all of his answers were.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, it was great, like all the way through.
They said he was holding church.
He was, man.
Damn.
He really was. It's just, obviously never having met the guy, just having seen his work on TV, you don't know what kind of people they're going to be.
Right, like I think Willem Dafoe even kind of had that same. I haven't seen anything like a whole lot from him, but it was more of like how he was talking about like how he gets typecast as psychopaths. But if you've seen him in most of his fucking interviews, he's so fucking chill.
And that just makes me think he's a psychopath even more.
Yeah,
but not.
I could never meet Willem Dafoe because all I'd be thinking about the whole time.
Oh no.
Please,
is his confusingly large penis.
He would just stop. He'd be like, "Yeah." So when I was working with Sam Raimi on Spider-Man, you want to see it?
I just go into the mic. Yes. Could you just ease the tension in the room,
just a little bit,
and just bring it out, please?
Let's talk about the elephant trunk in the room.
I can tell what's on your mind. And now it's going to be on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently there was a cosplayer. I don't remember the character's name from The Boys season 2.
Oh, no, Love Sausage?
Yeah, there was somebody who actually did it, and when they were waiting in line for one of the panels, they had it strewed across the ground. I was like, no.
Love Sausage is a great cosplay.
What does Love Sausage look like erect? Does he just pass out?
Bro, I don't. I don't need to know this information.
You know that. You know when they go to visit Jabba's palace and they knock on the door and that little eye comes out of the wall? It's like that, just way longer.
Damn it.
Yeah, it makes that noise. Speaking of Giancarlo Esposito, though, to divert from Willem Dafoe's large penis, which I to be fair, I brought us here.
You did.
We attended another panel with him at it, and this is one of the ones that made the fucking news. So the Star Wars panel we went to was Manny Jacinto, who played the Stranger / Khmer in The Acolyte, which had just been fucking canceled, sadly enough. Ming Na Wen, if you don't know who that is,
she's great.
I don't know what the fuck you're doing with yourself, but she was the original Mulan. She's Chun-Li in the Street Fighter movie. Just one?
Just one.
Street Fighter the movie, the game? Was she in that?
I guess her likeness was.
Yeah, her likeness was in the game. I remember seeing it on the awesome trailer at the beginning of the VHS.
Yeah, she's the cavalry. I wish I could say that in the MCU, but she's the cavalry in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
And then she's also Fennec Shand in the Star Wars universe. Mm-hmm. She was great. The panel also had Giancarlo Esposito, and it also had Natasha Liu Bordizzo, who is Australian. I didn't know that.
Yeah, me either.
This also had, like, I think the best moderator of the con.
I'm trying to remember that.
It was the very flamboyant dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he was hilarious. Because when they actually got to Esposito, somebody asked him a Breaking Bad question, and the moderator cut the guy off. The moderator was like, "You were in Breaking Bad?" Yeah. And everyone just died. But there was a lot of great takeaways from this panel. Manny Jacinto was hilarious. Every time they asked him about something, he would just be like, "I want to fight whoever," because they asked him like what they would want to do, like something they want their character to do they haven't done yet, and he's like, just right off the rip, he's like, "I want to fight Hayden Christensen."
And again, to the moderator's credit, he was like, he didn't say he wanted to fight Anakin. He said he wanted to fight
Hayden.
And I was like,
either way, you losing.
yeah, I was like, I hope you know, Hayden Christensen knows how to lightsaber fight. Dog.
He does.
He's gonna fuck you up. And then later on, somebody asked him a question. He's like, "I want to fight Darth Maul."
and it's like, damn, dog.
And again, Ray Park would kick your ass too.
Yeah, but Ray Park can't make it on set, so
That's true.
I mean, honestly, if they're not going to renew the Acolyte and they're not going to do anything with his character, which I think would be tragic because his character is fucking tremendous. One of the best dark side users that I think we've ever seen in live action. But yeah, they should just let him play Darth Maul if they're just not going to do anything with him, you know? Because the motherfucker's really good, you know? But I want to talk about Natasha because, number one, she accidentally told us that they are filming. She accidentally spoiled a lot of shit, which is why this made it on comicbook.com, because Ahsoka Season 2 was not confirmed by Disney. They're kind of trying to act like now that it was. You know, they're like, oh yeah, you know, she was talking about her film. No, Ahsoka Season 2 was not confirmed.
Oh shit, I figured they would have done that like after the. Yeah, never mind.
So she basically straight up spoiled that and spoiled the fact that she's in the Mandalorian Grogu movie, because she was like, well, you know, we've been filming and everything and took a break and all so I could come down here. And then she's like, oh, well, we're not going to start production on Season 2 until after Mandalorian and Grogu is over. And we're like, somebody was like, so are you confirming that you're in that movie? And she's like, no. And somebody else actually asked if she was going to share the screen with Bo-Katan, and she like declined to answer that, which that's a yes.
That's a fucking yes.
Right.
And it will be very interesting to see those two characters share the screen together. We haven't really got to see that.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
But the reason that I actually gained a lot of new respect for her coming out of this panel is this one guy comes up, and I'll be honest, I don't know if he was trying to be snarky with this question or not, because this tends to happen a lot with females in nerddom, where
gatekeepers.
You'll have this gatekeeping asshole, usually incel dude who wants to ask this super complex question to see if they know what they're talking about.
I didn't get that from him, to be honest, but
I don't know either way. Yeah. He did ask a very in-depth question, though.
Sure.
And there was a hush over the room as it happened, because I think a lot of people thought, is this that? Mm. And he wanted to ask about her character, Sabine, and kind of her losses from the end of Rebels and her family dying in the Night of 1,000 Tears, and kind of how we might see that manifest more in Season 2 of Ahsoka. And without skipping a beat, she gives this incredibly poignant, legit answer. And I loved that shit.
She understood the assignment.
You could tell that she has gone through and looked at everything that has Sabine in it. And
I mean, honestly, and I feel like this is, I feel like that should be a spoken or unspoken rule for actors. Like, if you're playing an already existing character, go fucking look up what the character's done.
You would hope.
Read. Yes.
You would. A New Hope.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot the button. Hey.
Hey.
It's interesting, right? Like,
Fuck you, Oz.
that, like, Marvel will straight up be like, no, don't look at any of that shit.
That shit is crazy, right? And it's to the point where, like, a lot of times the best actors do anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman being a big one.
John Bernthal, like, have you guys heard the story of him going to a comic book store to pick up Punisher comics? Mm-mm. So he goes to a comic book store, right? This is before it was, like, super public knowledge that he was going to play Punisher, right? And so he goes to the comic book store, and he asked the guy behind the counter, so, hey, man, what are some of, like, the best Punisher comics? And he has two stores, actually, but the first guy goes, why you want to know? Because he recognized that John Bernthal wasn't.
Yeah, because like if you followed the Walking Dead craze, you know who John Bernthal is.
Yeah.
And John's like, maybe for a role, and the guy goes, "You playing the Punisher?" All right, well, and then the guy gets super fucking serious. Goes, "Look, you need to read this, this." And John's like, all right, man.
But my bad, dog.
I came here to get some comic books.
He actually has a podcast now. Like,
he does. It's actually pretty good.
I know he's done Shia LaBeouf, but like recently he's done Deborah Ann Wall. And like, because she's a huge D&D nerd.
Yeah.
And so like they actually go into it, and it was actually a really like.
Oh hell yeah.
She gave one of the best descriptions of like how to explain D&D to people. Like she put him in a small scenario, and asked him what he did, what like something to do with the forest. He's like, you hear crackling, the branches breaking. What do you do? And he's like, oh, I get it. I was like, that was the best.
Right.
So
That's
anyway, I'm sorry. So,
What was the other story?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and so the second story, I think it was in another comic book store, and I think this was shortly after he had been cast. And so he's going into this comic book store and he's picking up some more books, and this other kid or this guy comes up to him and he goes, "You don't need those, man." And he's like, "But I think that these are pretty cool." No, those aren't the ones you need. And he kind of gives him the same treatment that the first guy.
It's like, if you want to get the realness of this character, read these.
Read these. It's like, motherfucker.
That's so good.
But like that is, I think that's very awesome and helpful of those people.
Oh, yeah.
They probably could go about it a little bit easier, better than that.
You're
but also, John Bernthal doesn't seem like the kind of guy I just want to go up and like forcefully give advice to.
Right, bro. So I forget which podcast he was on, but he was telling the story from a humility standpoint about when this life was at its lowest. He wasn't telling the story to brag, but he was talking about this was right before he got Walking Dead.
Right.
And he was walking his dog, and because his dog he had his dog very well trained. I think he didn't have his dog on a leash, and so but he's walking his dog, I think through like a dog park or something like that. And for whatever reason, he stops to go do something, and he turns around and he sees a guy just petting his dog, playing with his dog, and he's like, all right, man, I didn't give the guy permission to,
right,
touch my dog, but, whatever. And,
Which, by the way, do that. Right. Ask consent and permission before you just start petting people's pets.
Especially a service animal. Don't do that shit.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I think he was on a phone call or something, but he finishes up his phone call or whatever, and he turns around, and the guy is trying to leave with his dog. And John's like, the fuck are you doing? And so he gets up in the guy's face, hey, man, give me back my fucking dog, blah, blah, blah. And they go back and forth. And this guy's trying to say, no, this is my dog because there's people now looking and whatever. And so he's trying to steal John Bernthal's dog.
Oh, my God.
And things kind of heated. And I don't remember who threw the first blow, but I know who threw the last.
Yeah, I would.
John, he hit this guy. And the guy is knocked out, and when he falls, he cracks his head on the cement. And John gets taken in to jail. and he was like, "This is probably gonna be it," because like if this guy doesn't make it, then he could be looking at like some serious fucking.
Oh
time.
yeah, like his life would be over then.
Yeah, and he was like, man, he said he decided at that point to like really change the way he was living his life.
Oh yeah.
And shortly thereafter, like a few weeks later, he got Shane on Walking Dead.
So he could get all of that aggression and shit out
Right.
on the screen. It's so funny to see him in King Richard.
Oh yeah,
Because he plays like a tennis coach, and he's just really kind of meek guy, you know?
No, like
He wears like the fucking short neon
He's got
shorts.
the mustache.
He's got the porn stash.
see, I'm all for actors trying different types of roles, but like I can't do meet John Bernthal. I
He's
just can't.
actually great in that.
Is it?
That's a great
God.
movie. Yeah, I really love that movie. I would encourage anybody to watch it. It's really good.
Well, he had his role in was it Sicario? Yeah, his role in Sicario. That role wasn't supposed to be what it was, but the director liked him so much, was like, well, let's do something more with this.
Nice.
Yeah,
You know?
he's really good.
He is really good. And also, but still, fuck you, John Bernthal. You're supposed to be at WizardCon in 2016 to sign my goddamn picture, but you weren't there, so it's whatever. I'm not mad about it. I'm just making it known.
I feel like there's some salt there, but whatever.
John Bernthal, if you are watching or listening to this, he is mad about it.
Very much so.
He has the photo in there on the hallway, so please come to DragonCon 2025 so that he can get your damn signature and start talking about this.
But see, that's the thing. I don't think he will stop.
I think once he gets the signature, I think he'll be satisfied.
He'll just change the tone of what he.
Let's talk about this X-Men panel. X-Men
Yeah, we have
97.
that was our first panel, like the first one we all went to.
They asked my question.
They did.
Right off the bat, that was dope.
Yeah, I really like that.
They were great. I'm trying to remember who all we had there. We had
Yeah, Sinister.
Yep, Sinister. We had Morph.
We had,
Morph.
Morph was great.
Professor X.
Professor X was also
Which
great.
that was such a surprise to me because while yes I do follow some actors and stuff like that, I did not realize that they recast Professor X with the guy from Walking Dead season 3, I think.
Ross Marquand.
Yeah, and like that's where I was like, that dude looks familiar. Son of a bitch, that was him.
And
So-
he actually has been in all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
He is Red Skull in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and
he even did didn't he do it the accent?
he did the Xavier.
Oh, okay.
He
And
was
the Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Don't.
I have to forget about that.
I did forget about that.
Yeah,
and you had to bring that shit up.
I had forgotten about it. I have to re-begin my unremembering that now.
I
before
could not
season
forget
two.
about it.
But the thing is, he did such a good Red Skull that I swore in the Infinity War movie that they got Hugo Weaving back.
Yeah, 100%. Like I didn't know they recast him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea either.
Yeah.
Like before that panel.
Well, I knew before the panel. But
Oh, I didn't
when
before
watching-
that panel.
Yeah, I knew that it was Ross Marquand by that point.
Oh, okay.
But
So-
like in the moment, watching in game, I didn't know.
So we had Callisto.
Yep.
We had Sinister. We had the Professor. We had Morph.
There was one more.
There was one more.
Was there?
Yeah.
I have a picture.
Let's see who can get to it first.
Yep.
Because I got the panel. Let's see. No, there was only 4.
My bad.
There was only 4, and then they added Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. And was there not a Mass Effect panel?
No, they're not.
Which
There
is
wasn't. I
so
would have been
weird.
there. I would have fucking.
So weird, right? Because they had Joker there, they had
Yeah.
Shepard there, and they had Jack there.
They had Jack there. They could have easily
That
done
is
that.
fucking weird.
And
did, they,
Femshep is often there. I don't know if she was there
Yeah,
this year.
I
or
don't
not.
think Jennifer Hale was there.
did they not think that there would still be an audience for that? Because they'd be fucking wrong.
Yes, they would be.
I wonder if Mark Meir was like talking to the Baldur's Gate cast, just like, so what's it like to be in a good RPG now? Because
Well, he was.
And at the time, that was a very good RPG.
oh yeah, like Mass Effect.
I mean, it
Mass
was-
Effect 2 is a top 5 of all time for me. So
That's true.
yeah. We ain't gonna disrespect.
no, I love Mass Effect. I'm just like like they ain't been a good Mass Effect
But
in a long time.
I will say that they have not. They didn't blow up the way Baldur's Gate 3 did. So, like, honestly, there's not a single game that I can think of that did that.
Well, there was expectations, right? Like BioWare was on a streak because BioWare had fucking Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Icewind Dale, fucking Knights of the Old Republic, fucking Jade Empire.
Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Dragon Age had come out by then?
By the time of
Mass Effect 1?
Yeah.
And
That was around the time I actually played Origins.
And I remember Mass Effect 1 and being so excited for that. And like I said, they were on a fucking killer streak. And I'm probably even forgetting some. Mm-hmm. I think they made Icewind Dale too. Yeah, I'm trying to think, but I'm pretty sure that they did. And so you had Black Isle, which became part of BioWare, and they're coming out with all these fucking incredible, string of games. And Mass Effect had a lot of expectations, and then it also set new expectations that those future games had to meet. I think with Baldur's Gate, man, I think Larian was relatively unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like you and I were very familiar with Divinity, and a lot of players familiar with Divinity. But you got to remember, Divinity 1 and 2 were both Kickstarter games.
Yeah.
Those are crowdfunded games.
They were lucky to make it to console.
Yeah, because there was points in time during the development of DOS2 where they were like, we don't know if we're going to be able to get this on console because they couldn't get the 4 players. Mm-hmm. They really didn't have the know-how yet to make that work.
Right. So
to see Larian go from that, which both Divinity games are incredible.
Oh yeah.
I did play a little bit of the second one. It was very good. I got out of the prison.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Divinity 2 is amazing, especially all the work that they've done to it. But like, seeing them go from that to making like the highest production value video game ever made, basically,
and set the bar that every other company should be held to.
Yeah. Oh man, like it would just made it so apparent. Not to keep picking on Starfield or folks name of their parent company.
EA. Oh well, Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda. Yeah. I was going to say Bethesda.
Yeah. I blamed on Bethesda for some reason.
I was thinking BioWare still, so that's why I said EA.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not to keep harping on them, but man, like the fact that we got kind of both ends of the spectrum, in my opinion, almost of the gaming industry. One end, the rare end, being Baldur's Gate 3, love and passion and ingenuity and integrity poured into this game. Mm-hmm. The players get charged a flat rate for the game. You buy it, you got it. It's yours.
I mean, they gave a little bit extra for early access people, but
yeah.
Ultimately, when you get the game launched, you're only missing out on a few extra in-game equipment. That's it.
And you compare it to Starfield, which came out like a couple weeks after.
Still haven't played it.
I retried it a few weeks ago. It still doesn't hit. I still can't do it. But
it's so janky. Yeah.
It is, yeah. But you look at Starfield, and it's like, man, this was a game that, I mean, honestly, it had all the expectations in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, Skyrim in space is what people were calling it.
I mean, I would have fucking killed for that.
We all would have. If that's all they did,
was just like cookie cuttered it. Mm-hmm. I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, and just add in like real space travel and it's just Skyrim in space. That would have been really great. I mean, it wouldn't have been this innovative masterpiece that they were promoting it to be.
No, but it would have been at least on par with the other games.
Right. Instead, we got much.
You really need to play Outer Worlds. You really do. Because Outer Worlds is more Skyrim in space than Starfield is.
It is, really. And it's funny as fuck.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. But, like, it was... Obsidian kind of took... Well, okay, so Outer Worlds isn't Skyrim in space. It's Fallout in space. Mm-hmm. Obsidian was like, we're going to make Fallout in space, basically. And it's the same kind of tone, and it, like, feels really good. But with Starfield, it's kind of like it just feels like all the worst things from all the Bethesda games cobbled together. And the thing about it is none of it feels good. there's not a single part of the gameplay loop that feels good. It's like, you go out, you get a mission from a one-dimensional NPC. You go get on your ship. You fast travel to a planet.
Yeah.
You get off of your ship. You don't really interact with the ship at all. There's nothing cool to do on the ship. Mm-hmm. You get off the ship. You go shoot some guys. It feels no different than if you shoot some guys in like Doom. Yeah. There's no flair to it. There's nothing special about it. You get the loot or whatever you got to get. You get back into your loading screen ship. And the ship does about the same thing the ship in Destiny does, which is this loading screen.
Yeah.
You go back to the place and you go talk to the one-dimensional NPC and you get whatever your quest reward was. And it's basically rinse and repeat of that. You don't ever really feel like nothing feels good. Like if like, okay, I'm going to compare it to a game that's like renowned for being fucking terrible. Anthem, right?
Oh,
Did you ever play that?
I did.
So Anthem was fucking terrible, right? So with Anthem, the NPCs were all worse than Starfield's NPCs. Like they were like Morrowind had better NPCs. I mean, they were fucking terrible. Super generic, whatever. Long ass loading screen. Anytime you needed to go from a mission back to the one single town in the game, the loading screen is just forever. It didn't matter how, like even if you were playing on the best computer imaginable. But when you actually got out into the mission and were just doing the combat, it felt great.
Yeah.
And then the game would put you through like an hour of bullshit. But then you would get to go fly out into your mech for a while and do some cool shit. But like Starfield just never has that. There's no high. It's just meh. It's just a nice, consistent meh. And you just are like, I could be like outside raking leaves right now.
Yeah, no. Like, I'm usually a pretty big advocate for Bethesda. I will not be for this. I can't.
So my thing of it is like this. One of my favorite components of a Bethesda game is just the free exploration, free roam, seeing what you find.
Yeah.
And it just leads you down a whole nother
Ever since Fallout 3, I've loved that. Like,
Same.
Yeah.
Starfield doesn't have that. And I don't know how they got that oversight. For some reason, they valued quantity over quality. They put 10,000 procedurally generated planets in the game. I would have settled for 50. Give me 50. I would have settled for 25 planets.
Yeah, give me 25 different planets.
That make them all
fleshed
different
out
and unique and fleshed out. Instead, with those 10,000 planets, you can go to any of them, and because they're also procedurally generated, they could have the same shit.
KOTOR had 5, and we loved it.
Yeah.
Right? We don't need a lot.
And it wasn't even 5 whole planets.
Yeah. Well, what is anyone going to do with 10,000 fucking planets anyway?
And there's no ground vehicles.
No.
To get around in.
Oh, I think they're
adding that. Yeah.
But still, how is that an oversight? Like, you had a horse in Skyrim.
Sorry guys, this is not the Starfield review.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
We've been on this for a while. I apologize. X97 panel was great.
Yes.
I'm sure they played video games at some point.
If you told me that Chris Britton drowns puppies in his spare time, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks.
The actor for Sinister, I was like, that motherfucker's perfect.
He really is.
Yeah.
He was very unsettling. Very woo.
The thought of him playing Rogue was hilarious. Right. I asked him, what other characters he'd want to play, and he was like, maybe Rogue, and the whole place busted out laughing, and I was just like, come on, give us a Hey Sugar.
Yeah. I think the moderator even asked that too.
Yeah. The question I asked was actually if they were surprised about the amount of fame that the show has gotten.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even this very podcast, folks, we kind of thought it was going to be meh to worse. And we were so wrong. Yeah. It was incredible.
Yeah, the show was great.
Yeah, I mean, to the point that Bo DeMaio appeared here and crotch chopped Ace point blank on this table.
He did, and I couldn't do anything about it.
And I mean, it was the show was incredible, and this panel was really good, and none of them really, they just thought it was another job,
Yeah.
And you do the thing, and then you go on to the next thing. And no, I mean, this has exploded. Like, they're all going to be playing these roles for a while.
Oh, they're 90.
Yeah. Till you're 90.
He's fucking 90. And honestly, a lot of the voice cast has already been announced for MomoCon as like their like featured guests for this year.
Oh shit! Nice.
Matt Watterson, who is Magneto, and then
That's right. Yeah.
the voice actors for both Rogue and Gambit.
Gambit, yeah.
Nice.
Gambit about to have a line.
Oh, dog, yeah.
He better make a name for himself.
You remember it.
Oh shit, man! Yeah, and
I'm glad it's the actual good Gambit, and not.
you gonna stop hating on Channing?
he eventually.
I'm not. It was great for what it was, but
It was intentional.
you say that, but either way, like he's just like it's just him parodying Gambit, basically. You know, and as that, I think it's great. But the people who are like Channing Tatum should get a Gambit movie. Fuck them. You don't really want that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, here's my thing. If they don't make it cool, if they make it cool, I mean, I'm neutral on the potential Channing Tatum.
Yeah, I'm same.
I'm not going to see that shit. I can't.
You are
sit through
going
that.
to see it.
Oh yeah,
I
you don't
cannot
get
sit through that shit.
You got a job to do.
I don't give a fuck. I'm calling in sick.
I'll go see what you dog.
I appreciate it.
I got you, bro.
Yeah. And we're going to do the whole review and Channing Tatum Gambit voice.
Damn right we are.
Oh my
No,
god.
the 97 panel was great. I think that JP and Ross Marquardt were probably my favorites on that particular panel. Yeah, just really cool people.
Oh yeah.
Cool people.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about before we just get into our bullshit that has nothing to do with anything?
The homies are like, how's that any different from any other?
What's so before we do that, what would you guys say your like favorite moment or favorite like single thing was this year?
I've kind of already said it, but the energy and the actual getting of the photo with the Baldur's Gate 3 cast, like it was just electric. I know part of it was Kay and Jazz's excitement, but it was very infectious. And honestly, that whole line felt that way.
It did.
And then once we got in there, and just the camaraderie you could feel from them, how nice they were. They are literally the people you see in these interviews. It's. Yeah.
Theo Solomon's like the nicest dude in existence.
Speaking of, like, I know I've said this before. I've never been like a Will Ravengard fan. Like, I just didn't really connect with the character very well. But after meeting Theo, my current playthrough, he is like right there with me. He's like my, he is my Blade of Frontiers.
Same, yeah. He's incredible.
Yeah, like I think I told you guys this a couple months ago, but like my Will playthrough, like he was. I chose him to be the main. It was incredible because, I mean, you look at it, Will has a very complex story.
He does.
He
does.
Like, so you playing as Will, are you going to choose to kill Karlach or not? You know what's going to happen if you do. I mean, if you let her live. Mm-hmm. What about the stuff in Missouri? And then just like the tension of rescuing his dad.
Oh God! Like that. Oof.
Yeah.
And depending on what ending you get, and if you decide to romance Karlach or not,
which I did as Will.
That option to go back to Avernus with her is fucking poetic.
It's poetic as fuck because you got to think like, and I realized this playing as Will, but like because I chose to romance Karlach when I played as him, and it's like with that ending, he can choose to go with Karlach into Avernus. But I'm like, doing that, man, like, you're set up to be, like, the guy in Baldur's Gate. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
You are.
Yeah. And now, like...
Especially if, unfortunately, you let your dad die.
Oh, he can live and you still be the guy.
Oh, really?
He offers it to you, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, yeah, I've never done that part. I've always either saved him or...
Alert.
Yeah. I mean, it's been out for a year, bitches.
Yeah.
I've never once gone to Avernus with Karlach.
Every time.
I'm like, I'll sit here on the dock with you while you melt.
Which I saved and did that too. That's just fucking sad.
It's very sad. I've only seen it on like TikTok videos. I'm like, I'm not doing that ever. Like, she is my boo thing.
It's fucking sad. And then like just to see what happens at the the party scene 1 year later or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, you go and you meet and you mingle with everybody else, and then you talk with Withers, and you know he's like, yeah, she's not coming back, man. Like there is no coming back for her, but she lives on, you know, within you and blah blah blah, and it's just fucking sad.
Oh yeah.
Like I will say, I know we're tangenting again, but I always go back with her, and I end up like, especially the first time I played through, I fucking cried. Like just that good feeling of I'm gonna help her until we find a cure for this shit. It was, oh god, it was so good. Anyway, sorry.
Have either of you done the like where you let her turn into the mind flayer to save?
No, but I hear it's like the one of the more satisfying endings for her.
Yeah, because she gets to stay and live
as a mind flayer.
Well, I'm going to go and tell you right now, Gale was still very lovely to me, and he still married me anyway. Despite
but Withers has confirmed it. You will have no soul.
Yeah, whatever. Gale and I, he gave me the Dr. Manhattan space sex, the mirror image.
What about you? What was your, you know,
my favorite Dragon Con moment from this year?
Of all time, no, this year.
Man, that's tough, man.
We had a lot of good moments.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of fucking good moments, man. It's hard for me to just choose one, but the Jean Carlo Esposito panel was really high up there for me. The Baldur's Gate 3 panel was really high up there for me too. It's probably one of those two, but man, it's everything's kind of fighting for first place. Like,
yeah.
Even the I really love the 97 panel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's I'm gonna cheat because I can't just choose one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What about you, homie?
I'm gonna give a cheat answer too. The company was my favorite part. You know, it's the friends we met along the way. No, you're right. Yeah. If I had to pick, man, it probably is the Baldur's Gate panel or the picture. The picture, I think, especially, is like really important to all of us.
Yeah, it was like I felt good with pretty much everything, but like that was like the energy we had afterwards from just going and doing that was just intense. I was like, holy fuck, that was great. Like all of us felt that.
Yeah, I agree. All the shenanigans we got into,
so good, which we'll be getting into soon.
Yeah, especially in the Hobbit line when we had the rum bucket,
which I still haven't got a rum bucket.
I mean, that's on
true.
you, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
mine was a little watered down this year.
Well, we kicked them up though.
Yeah, we did. But it was still...
Well, you know, we went to that main counter that everyone goes to.
Oh, yeah.
We should have gone downstairs to that guy from last year.
That guy.
Bro, like, last year when we got the rum bucket from that one guy, our panel was a few feet away. And, like, just by the time we got there, sitting in the panel sipping, I was like, this shit is potent.
Yeah. He looked over and I'm over there, like, swaying in my chair. I was like, dog, I'm kind of tipsy right now. He was like, you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For realsies.
Well, I think on that note, I think we're gonna just kind of bullshit here for a bit about some of the shit we got into.
Yes, sir. We got there on Wednesday and we left on Sunday.
And everybody at the con was saying Wednesday's the new Thursday.
They really were. And people have said that before, but it was so fucking true this year. And here's the thing, like the three of us rode up there together. We had a big group though.
Yeah.
And we get there.
7, 8?
And I mean 9 if you count Brendan.
Oh, that's right.
So
the reason why he says that is because he didn't travel with us or stay with us.
Right.
But he was with us a lot some of the time.
Yeah. So we we get there and like everybody's like unpacking and shit, like, oh, nice relaxing night before the calm before the storm, and I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm going to the con, and everyone's like, what? And so we get an Uber and we go down there, and the Marriott was already popping.
It was, yeah.
I took him to the shrine. We got to go see the FedEx John shrine.
Oh God.
I believe this was also the night that we saw the UPS fuckers.
Yes, it was. That was the first night that we were all five together drinking.
So this requires a bit of explanation if you are still here and have never gone to Dragon Con before. So Dragon Con is the only convention I've ever been to that has kind of spawned its own culture. And there are certain cults at Dragon Con. For example, I believe the oldest is the cult of the Marriott carpet, which I'm a member of. I own quite a few Marriott carpet items.
I'm actually contemplating getting some myself.
And as one should. But several years ago, there's a FedEx office that is located on the Sky Bridge between the Hyatt and the Marriott. And there was a cutout of a FedEx employee by the name of John at this location. And the cutout was, of course, some people may use the word vandalized, but I would say decorated. With googly eyes and whatever else. And so eventually, after like a year or two of this, they actually removed the cutout from the hallway, thinking that would stop it. It did not.
It made it worse.
It instead spawned the cult of FedEx John. And now...
He will return one day.
He will. Under his googly eye.
Under his googly eye.
And there's a shrine there now where people leave things in memoriam for FedEx John. And also there are like people who even dress up as like FedEx priests.
Yeah.
And hand out.
We told Ace he really, because he had to, he should have wore his work uniform.
Yeah. About that.
And there's people, that come there dressed as packages and whatever else. And they were even having communion with some shots, I think. Yeah. Out there at one point. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, all that is to say that on this auspicious night, we witnessed the heretics.
And all right, so again, this is my first Dragon Con. I have not experienced any of this ridiculousness up until this point. However, this immediately made me care about this ridiculous cult when we saw the UPS people.
Yeah.
Ace has been with me a lot of times. And, like, I've always talked about the cults. But, like, other than the carpet, you've never seen me give a fuck about it, really. And then we saw these UPS motherfuckers. And now I'm like, man, I need some FedEx shit. Oh,
yeah. I'm over here contemplating buying a uniform.
I left some things at the shrine.
I can give you a shirt, dog. You got
I left a few things at the shrine
that's true.
For FedEx John this year. And, this year actually may have spawned a new cult, too.
We're going to try to snuff that flame. There's no need for that.
Well, I'm actually not sure if we are going to now have the cult of the cannon, or if the FedEx John cult is going to kind of absorb that and it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, Caleb was just telling me about that. I was like, oh my God, no.
Yeah. So I don't know, if the FedEx John cult is just going to merge with the cannon people, or if there's going to be a cult of the cannon. We'll see in about 358 days.
Speaking of new cults,
yep.
We have to talk about the newest of cults that is only the members of the superhero homies who have been on the podcast, as well as some of our other people, members of our group.
So homies, you too have the pristine opportunity
to join.
It's one of the most illustrious and profound moments that you can ever experience, and we can promise you great moments of bliss and joy, even beyond that you've experienced on this podcast. And Caleb, I can tell you agree. Yeah.
That is the cult of the Dick and Nips.
And you yourself, homies, can join the cult of Dick and Nips and become a brother fuck.
A brother fuck or sister fuck.
Or sister fuck, yeah.
These are all certainly things you could do.
Yeah.
I did it backwards. I'm sorry.
Dick and Nips.
Dick and Nips.
If you listen to the Deadpool and Wolverine review, or just about any episode since, I actually don't think. I think last night we reviewed Alien Romulus without a single Dick and Nips reference.
I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it, but I was like, where am I going to put this?
I know damn sure I don't want the face huggers getting a hold of my dick or nips. And while we're making references, I do have my Pepsi here, so we are safe.
Oh, yep.
From Adam Webb.
Safe from Adam Webb. Good.
But I mean, the Dick and Nips.
It started Wednesday night.
It really started the Deadpool Wolverine review.
The official start, but then it culminated hardcore Wednesday night at Dragon Con.
We were very drunk on Wednesday.
We were.
And again on Thursday because
that was just you, me, Kevin, and Brendan.
Yeah, that's right. Because I like that shit blows my mind. Because like in my head, you were there.
You were there.
But like it was Oz's first Dragon Con, and I knew that on Friday night we had to go to bed because we had to get up early on Saturday. So I'm like, okay, well, certainly Thursday night we got to go down there and like you got to get a taste of like nighttime Dragon Con.
Yeah,
it's a different thing. And we go down there, and the place is popping, and we are back in the mead again. We also saw, just in case they haven't really listened to this, we saw a Pikachu, and I don't know how to put this eloquently, but they had a enormously perfect ass. It was incredible.
It really was.
I'm so upset that I missed this.
Yeah, you really did.
It was easily, and I mean easily, the nicest ass I've ever seen in person. Like with my own two eyes, like not on the internet.
Damn.
Yeah. It was.
It was
like we could have set all 3 of our drinks on it.
Damn.
And they would have been fine.
Yes, sir.
Like it had the size, it had the form, and it had the shape.
Oh.
Yeah. It was of legend.
Fuck.
Yeah. Brother fuck.
Yeah.
We also have the cult of the Dick and Nips does have a salute. You know. Yep. And that was the whole thing. So that's what happens when we all get ridiculously wasted.
But the fucked up part is we kept going with it even when we weren't wasted.
Yeah, even when we were completely sober. Which wasn't a lot.
Yeah. It was one of those things where we were like, okay, once we sober up and go to bed and wake up, it'll be just whatever. No, it was still very much a thing.
Yeah, very much a thing.
We haven't talked about loot. Was there any loot that you guys got this year from the con that you're like especially proud of?
I won a swag bag.
Oh, you did. You got a golden ticket.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think this is part of it.
That is part.
He got a golden ticket.
Yeah, I got a golden ticket. And I got to choose, from several different options. I chose a Marvel bag they had there, and it came with that nice little Jessica Jones figure that the homie Oz just presented to the camera. Came with a Mjolnir that I can attach to the wall.
Yep.
It's the same one that you have at your place.
Yep. It was a Father's Day gift that I keep on the wall, and it's really nice. I'm glad you got one.
Yes, I do. And it came with a bunch of other shit that I don't remember at the moment. But you had a lot of cool shit in there.
Well, now that you guys both have one, sometime that I'm not here, you can rub your hammers together.
I'm not taking it off the wall, dog.
Oh, okay.
I feel like there's a better way for you to word that.
I said what I said. Brother fucks. Anyway, as far as like loot for me, so 2 years ago at MomoCon, I found this artist, and they had a really awesome like collage picture of the entire Mass Effect crew, and I almost bought it then, and I was like, no, I can't justify it. Whatever, I'll come back for it later, and I never did. And the next year they weren't there, and so when we were actually in the vendor hall, I found her, and I was like, yep, I have to get it this time, otherwise I will be hating myself forever. So I that's my favorite loot from the con.
I didn't get anything of note. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. What? I got a lot of ribbons. I got a lot of badge ribbons I really enjoyed this year. I gave Kay the one that says Honda Odyssey fucks hard.
That is a good one.
That is.
Well, it's two.
No, it's two separate ones.
It's one that says Honda Odyssey, and then
The
one
other one
that says fuck hard. But it was the same person giving out both of them. So.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. I got some dice that were really nice.
Yeah, you did get some nice dice. So. I oddly enough did not get one.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I didn't get any.
You never went to the Chessex booth either, did you?
No, but like it was a fucking big ass line, and we were already tired as shit. So we were like, you know what?
All the time there's a long ass line at Chessex.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, like Chessex doesn't have any like specialty dice as far as like liquid core.
And see, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for some plain ass fucking.
Well, they're not plain though. Like they have so many kinds of dice that you can get, and it's just crazy. Like it's pretty nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying Chessex isn't good. It's great dice, but I've kind of moved away from the strictly
plastic. Yeah.
From strictly plastic dice.
Same.
Well, that's
for most part.
Like if I do have plastic dice, they're either liquid core or liquid core.
I got another set of acid etched, which means I'm gonna have to take a set out of my dice tray.
I think I'm gonna have to get me a set of acid etched. They just look so good.
They look cool as shit.
And when the Stormlight RPG comes out, I have 2 full sets of Stormlight dice.
Nice.
One that's liquid core, which is probably gonna go to K.
Speaking of dice though, like I went and bought us all those fucking Edge of the Empire dice.
I know.
And then the next session we ended the game.
Yeah. This is why you don't like if you're gonna come out with a tabletop RPG, just use the fucking standard dice.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But see, how do you like modify it to a point where it's different?
I mean, there's ways like the Cosmere RPG. I gotta stop calling it Stormlight RPG, but the Cosmere RPG is doing something very similar to that. So, yeah, but R.I.P. Edge of the Empire. I did enjoy that. So
I mean, it's not dead, is it?
I actually do think that they are no longer printing the stuff. I mean, nothing would stop us from playing it though if we wanted to. If we just had infinite time and energy.
Which we do, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's worth a shot.
No.
Yeah, I got one D20. It's a big one. It's a nice one.
Oh yeah, like you're talking about the
Yeah.
From Sorensen's?
Yeah.
Is it acid etched?
No. It's it's got like the almost like the glass effect.
Right, the prismatic.
Yeah, the prismatic. Yeah, like I was like, I really like that. I would love a set like that. I think Kay has a set like that, doesn't she? Yeah. I would love a set like that. Ooh yeah.
Ace was not with me this year when I went to Steve Argyle's booth, and so I had no one there to help me. No, to help me because I normally drop $80-$90 there. I usually get a thing. Usually, like last year, I got 2 of those big play mats, but neither of them were for me. One of them was for the homie K, the other one was for the homie Dylan. This year, though, I spent like $250 there, and it was all for me. It was all me.
And they're going to be up in the game room soon.
They are going to be up in the game room tonight, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
But there's I got, he has a series of Stormlight art that he did that's actually in the book. And I wanted all of it. And I this year I finally said, fuck it, and just bought all of them.
He did.
And they're like the textured wood prints.
And within 2 days of getting home from Dragon Con, there were already ordered at the house frames for them.
Yeah, like I had them in frames on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't wasting no fucking time.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I think I ordered the frames before we got home. Like I ordered them while we were still in.
Oh shit.
Well, because they're like you just don't want anything to happen to them.
Yeah.
You know? That's the hardest thing about art is like transporting it.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah. I was able to go to obviously to Artist Alley, which is on the 4th floor of the vendor hall.
That's where we started.
Yeah, that's always the most dangerous place for me That's where you guys can see a bunch of different comic book artists up there doing commissioned work. And I mean, hell, that's where I got my copy of Wolverine. That just plastered all over the place. Matter of fact, that poster, I have a copy of that issue that was signed by Chris Claremont. That was from a couple years ago now.
Yeah.
But artist alley is always difficult for me for a couple of reasons. One, because there's always an artist there. They're like, holy shit, you wrote and or drew this. I need you to sign this for me. And also, like, every time I go to a con, I try to buy a comic book from a smaller distributor or lesser known distributor.
Right.
And this year was no different. There was a booth there from these guys called Stranger Comics. And they had a really impressive booth there. Lots of different trade paperbacks, floppy issues, and some really nice hardcovers, as well as some really cool artwork too. And I was looking there at their panel, and I decided to buy some stuff. And it was really impressive. A book called Niobe. I got a chance to flip through it a little bit. Looked really damn impressive. I haven't had a chance to give any of them a read yet. I bought 3 of those hardcovers. Gorgeous books.
Oh yeah, like as soon as you brought them in, I was like, dude, that looks great. Yes.
And I think his name was Steven, who was the creator. He was there, and
you definitely got him to sign it, right?
Yeah. When I was picking up the books, he said, "Did you want to get these?" And I said, "If you sign them for me." And he was definitely kind enough to sign them for me, and he also he gave me the books at a discounted rate, and he also gave me and Kevin some artwork as well, and I had somewhere. And,
No show and tell.
Yeah, no show and tell. I'll show you guys next time. All right, but the artwork was also gorgeous. So that was definitely like. Probably the most impressive thing I got from a haul this year.
Oh yeah, it was gorgeous, dude. Yeah.
So, kind of to wrap it up here, we've been going a while. I think it's like we've been going a bit. So let me ask this: what's like the guest that you would want to see at Dragon Con? Like, you have your pick of anybody to come there. Who you picking?
We've already said it. Matt Mercer.
That's fair.
Like, honestly, any of the Critical Role cast, but Matt Mercer especially.
Yeah.
Boy, I got to think about this a little bit.
Especially because, like, what was it, your first year there? We just walk up and have a chat with Chris Claremont?
Yeah.
I will say it was very surreal. Like, give you a little extra time to think. Just how, like, surreal it was being that close to some of these people. I was like, holy shit, you're famous.
Yeah, like famous.
A little moment that we didn't really talk about, but while we're waiting in line for the Hobbit panel, we're all 6 of us. It was me, you, Kevin,
Brendan and Jamie.
Yeah. And we were just all sitting there, and all of a sudden, I see a person. I was like, oh, that's a really good Jared Padalecki, Sam Winchester cosplayer. I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's actually Jared Padalecki. Holy crap. And he gets into his Uber and dips the fuck out. And then not even 10 minutes later, Neil Newman comes out and lights up, we're assuming, a cigarette?
It was a cigarette.
I think it had to be a joint, man. No, I'm saying there's no way that he smoked a cigarette that fast and he's a voice actor.
That's a fair point, yeah.
Like, I don't think so.
No, but it was just fucking surreal to be like in, like, I'm a Supernatural fan, so seeing Jared Padalecki in person was fucking wild.
Oh, I figured you just loved him as Walker, Texas Ranger.
No.
I also, like, Neil streams. Like, he was actually streaming from his hotel room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, you can't be a hardcore smoker and, like, you got to run outside every 30 minutes on your stream.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true.
It had to have been a joint. He had
he had to calm them nerves, man.
Yeah, probably got overwhelmed,
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't blame him.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 'cause it is a lot.
Because, like, it's one thing to be a celebrity. It's one to be, like, a heartthrob celebrity. Because, like, people fangirl over him all the time.
Oh, yeah. Like, do you know how many, like, titties he had to look down at over the weekend? And
poor him.
And, like, 98% of them would have gladly let him touch them.
That's a fair point.
98% of that number's a little low.
I mean, I'm just going to assume, that there were some titties that didn't want to be touched.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, my number's way lower than 98%. I'm floating around the, like, 35.
So, yeah, my dream Dragon Con guest. Well, I mean, on one hand, I want to say like Frank Miller or Alan Moore.
Alan Moore's not coming to Dragon Con.
I know. You said dream.
I did.
You said dream.
Frank Miller might.
Frank Miller, he very well may. And, his health hasn't gotten better, and I don't know how much longer, he's going to be amongst the land of the living. Yeah. Hopefully for years to come. But, man, it would be amazing to meet Frank Miller.
You thought D'Onofrio cut that kid off. Can you imagine Alan Moore? Shit. Next question.
Yeah, and Alan Moore, a real fucking wizard. If you ask him, he is a wizard. He looks like one for sure, so he might be.
He looks like a crazy old man, dog.
I feel like you're stereotyping wizards right now. I'm just saying.
Maybe. But he looks like a wizard, and he says that he's a wizard, so... Am I stereotyping? That's Alan Moore, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He looks he kind of looks like Charles Manson.
A little bit.
And he's also batshit insane.
But that's why he's so good.
Yeah.
That'd
be incredible.
If I couldn't get Frank Miller and or Alan Moore, then I shouldn't have to suggest this person because they should have been here anyway. But John Bernthal.
I knew you were gonna say that shit.
I'm just saying he was supposed to be at Chicago Con in 2016.
Bruh, just let it go.
For whatever reason, I'm not mad about it though.
Just let it go.
Yeah. I mean, hell, y'all the ones that brought it back up.
We brought it up.
Yeah. I don't think we did.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we can play it back on the tape.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fact that you call it a tape.
For me, you guys are probably like, he's going to say Brandon Sanderson.
No.
But Sanderson was the keynote speaker at Dragon Con in 2019. So.
Pretty dope.
Huh?
Then that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. Suddenly my throat is very dry. And I don't know why.
Because you didn't say Brandon Sanderson.
Right,
maybe so.
Your body's having a fucking reaction.
It clearly is. Jesus. For me, though, I'd have to say, I would like for him to come back, but let's see. I would say either like Christopher Nolan would be incredible to get him there.
I just think about the line for
for Christopher Nolan, yeah. Christopher Nolan would be one, and then I'd probably also, Mark Hamill. I'd love for Mark Hamill to come back.
I need to meet him too, so he can
sign the anime series. Yeah, he would be so happy to sign that too.
I'll be happy to have him sign that.
I bet you would, because he's basically said that he won't do Joker again.
Yeah. God damn.
So,
will he technically do Luke again?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Till he's fucking 90.
What's that, another 15 years?
He's going to be in the fucking Ray movie. He is.
Oh, they're still making that?
Yeah, unfortunately so.
Wait a minute, I thought they shit canned that.
Oh, no, they're making that shit.
God damn it.
They done already did it, I believe.
Fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy.
What's the release date on that? It's not next year, is it?
Bro, I don't know.
Okay.
Or care. But there's going to be a scene where she like communes with him or what the fuck.
And you're going to make me go watch it, aren't you?
He's going to make me go watch it, so I'm going to make you watch it.
God damn it.
We're going to go and hate watch it.
Okay.
We can go at like 1 a.m. in Mystery Science Theater. Nobody will be there. We go on like the third week or something.
Right.
And then we can just talk mad shit.
That's actually what me and Kevin did for fuck, what's the second one called? That shitty one.
Last Jedi?
Yeah, Last Jedi, yeah. Yeah, we went
worst one?
Yeah, we went at like 11 o'clock on like a fucking
I went on
Wednesday
Christmas
night.
during the Christmas time because we went up to West Virginia to see Don's family.
Oh, yeah.
And we went to theaters to see it because the new Star Wars is out. We should go watch this.
Yeah. When we went to go see Alien Romulus, we were like the only people in the theater besides this old man that like coughed a lot, and I think it made it creepier.
Kind of did.
Yeah.
Because there's already so much ambient noise in those movies.
Oh shit!
And that just amplified it.
But I think that's it, folks. I think we can go ahead and wrap this one on up.
I think we can too. I want to end this by asking a question that I asked last night. Oz, if you put a condom in your mouth, will it protect you from a face hugger? You gave me the same response Caleb did. And you know what?
Fuck!
I'm asking the hard-hitting questions here.
Oh, is that what it is? Like, I think there's something hard here, but not.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us here on the Superhero Homies podcast. If you got anything to hit us up with, always hit us up on the email or in the comments section. But until next time, I am Superhero Homie Caleb.
I am Superhero Homie Oz.
And I want to know the answer to my questions, goddammit. If you have a condom in your mouth, okay, fine. And I am Superhero Homie Q.